Okay, so we are running a little one shot in Lloyd Collins, the Jarl GM, DM's World of Iskloft. This is actually a late ladies' week game because I had something happen personally within my family, so I had to put it off. But I got 4 great gals here that are ready to brave the north woods of Iskloft for the well, for their own, I guess, individual reasons. I guess I can't just nail it down to one because we got quite a motley crew here. But without any further ado, we're going to jump right in. So snow is crunching beneath your snowshoes as you make your way through the heavily forested woods. It's a light breeze carrying with it the biting cold. The smell of evergreens is on the air. Your breath is rising before you. A light snow is starting to fall. Who's leading your group right now? And you would be?
I am Brynja Bjornstadtir. I am a Iskloft berserker. I am about 7 feet tall, and I have long flowing black hair, bare furs keeping me warm, and I'm carrying a large maul and several throwing spears in my back. And I'm watching throughout the tundra. It's very familiar grounds to me, and I'm very used to tracking things in this area. I have 1 blue eye and 1 brown eye. And if you can see my hands, my fingernails are long and sharp, and my teeth have particularly long incisors.
So the large warrior trudges ahead of the rest of your group. Sylvie, you walk behind her. What thoughts are going through your mind as you are searching, hunting this wolf?
The main thought going through her mind is she going to get there in time? Will she be able to save her husband, this man who's gone out and who she pretty much took for granted until she's at risk of losing him?
Yeah, your thoughts tend to think to your husband, Halvar. You think of your loss, still bitter, still close. But now you have purpose. Save your husband, save your village. It's not the same for Skein, who walks several paces behind you. Skein, why are you traveling with this group? You're no warrior.
Skein is near the back. Her cloak's pulled around her for warmth, although she's lived among the Iskloft for many years and is used to the cold. She is listening, not for the cry of a wolf, not to any chatter of her companions, but to the whispers in her head, the voices of the dead or the spirits or the gods, perhaps. Who can say? They told her to come. So did her Jarl, and perhaps that's why others might think she's here. But the truth is that Skein follows the whispers.
And lastly, like a shadow lurking off to the right of your group, we have Varga. Varga, how come you don't travel with the rest?
Varga looks at the others. Fools, weaklings. She really wants nothing to do with them. But she needs them. She needs them to get where she's going, to get what she needs. For now, she'll have to refrain from just killing them all. She growls to herself. She has to get that token from the great wolf. And she thinks for a moment, why did I ever steal from the witch? She growls again. She says, I've got to get that token. I've got to get back into the tribe. And continues along her way, all senses alert to what's going on around her.
For those of you from the Thorpe of Hafrafell, this is a personal mission. The men of your village, those that weren't out reaving, had gone out to hunt this great wolf that had been harrying your village and the farms. It is winter time, a time when sane folks are hunkering down, living off their stores. But you know, if you don't deal with this wolf, then there won't be a spring. You've been several hours making your way through the woods in the direction the men went 7 days before. You see no sign, but you didn't expect to find any sign. It snowed several times since then. You guys look furtively around for any sign of the men's passing, any marking. Give me a survival roll. And that would start, that would be Brynja. Varga, you can give me one too because you're walking outside of the group.
That's an 18.
Perfect.
Okay, that would be 8.
An 8. No, you're stewing too much about having to travel with these softer types. They're too cultured for your taste, Varga. But you see it, Brynja. You see a mark on a tree. Would be probably not noticed by many if you not know what you're looking for. But it's a couple of cuts, 3 slashes horizontally cut into the bark of this evergreen. You know that you are on the right path. And once noticing that, you find it that much easier. You travel for about another hour. You still don't see a fresh trail, but you come across another marking. You touch the sap and it's frozen. So the men have passed through here many days before. You don't see wildlife. You look up to the skies and it's thick with clouds. You notice the snow is starting to pick up. That does not bode well. It is the time of blizzards. It is a time when many, if not having the proper shelter, would die in the frozen north. What would you guys like to do?
Blizzards are coming. It may be best to seek shelter soon. And also, when we pass these markings, I would probably add my own a little marking, adding a little bit of my blood to it, noting that's the same marking that I passed by. Others.
Yeah.
Storms are coming.
And as you say that, Brynja, the rest of you see that the snow is starting to get heavier, coming down much faster.
Varga kind of circles in, still looking out in the snow to see what might be out there, listening for any cries or any noise or anything that might give away anything that's hidden.
That's perfect, which is great. Why don't you guys tell me what your passive perceptions are? We'll start with everyone's passive perception is 13 except for Sylvie. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, if I ever have you make a perception roll, Carol, yeah, just roll 2 dice, unless I tell you differently. Okay. What I need everybody to do now, so you stop and you're taking this little break. The snow is starting to come down quicker. Everyone give me a wisdom save, please.
Oh, do you want the perception check or the wisdom save first?
Give me both. You just let me know in the chat which one is which. Perfect. Yeah. What you notice, Brynja, up ahead is you can see another set of markings. You also see a spot where just exposed just a little bit, some stones have been made into a fire pit, probably about 30 feet away.
I go over to it and I go to see if there's any other signs around it, how long ago it was burned.
Yeah, so you can give me a survival roll to try to see how old the fire is. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to help Brynja try to set kind of a campsite, a place for us to shelter down while it's snowing.
Yeah, so the snow is still coming down. It's coating your furs, and even your outer extremities that are used to the cold. You can feel them starting to get numb. And Brynja, what you can tell by looking at these, you kind of uncover the part of this fire pit that is covered, and you look at the wood. The best you could say is probably about maybe 3 to 4 days old. And as the rest of you approach this this campsite, which you assume was a campsite for the men, what are you doing? I'm interested in what you're doing, Varga. Are you traveling into this little opening, this little clearing within the trees?
Yes. Well, Varga, knowing that they're going to have a fire and share in it, even though she's really doesn't want to be that close. They all smell like civilization to her. Goes out under the boughs of the pine trees where they're protected and gathers some dry wood to help get the fire going.
Perfect.
Brings
All
them
right.
an armload of starter wood, twigs, and things like that will catch fire quickly.
So you could give me a perception roll, Varga, as you're doing that, kind of walking around along the tree, the skirting tree line, and you would get advantage on this. And Brynja, as you're examining this fire, you look over and you reach over and you shake some snow off of something that catches your eye, and you see that it's one of the leather backpacks of one of the men of the village. It's kind of been cast to the side, and though it is still tied shut. Varga, as you're grabbing wood, you reach down and you're trying to grab as much of this dry wood as you can, but it's hard. Most of it is snow and ice covered. And that's when you make a discovery. You reach down to grab a branch, and what you think is a branch, you pull it up, and it's part of a man's arm. It is frozen solid. And as you look at it, you can still see the armband still frozen onto the skin, the tattoos, and a jagged break with bone extending from it, the blood frozen solid.
Varga growls to herself. Her stomach rumbles. She goes, no, and she takes this back to the fire, just holding it out in one hand. Does anybody know this arm? Holds it out for them to see.
So you're making your way back, Varga, as we'll bring the camera back to the other three in this old campsite. Brynja, what do you do as you find this backpack?
I bring it over by the campfire to further examine, and I say, I think the men have been through here. This campfire was here 3 days ago. And I'm considering whether or not to start shoveling snow to kind of make a sort of shield wall against the wind as we are hunching under this pine tree.
Yeah. So that's what you start doing. What are the other two doing? Sylvie and Skein.
Well, I'm going to help clean out the fire pit, get it ready for starting a fire so that we can get some warmth going. Once that's cleaned out, I'll help Brynja do the snow wall.
Perfect. And Skein?
Skein is watching all this, her head slowly swiveling around, watching one person, then the next, the grim discovery. And then she looks up to the trees, to the branches covered in snow, and looks specifically for a small black form that she expects to be there. Ravens have a tendency to follow her.
Yeah, up in the branches, Skein, you see 3 hunched over black forms. The snow already starting to coat their heads and wings, and every once in a while you see one of them kind of just move a little bit on their branch, flap its wings a bit to get the snow off, and you hear the ah. I don't know what a crow sounds like.
Pretty good.
And that is when Varga walks into the campsite.
Brynja raises an eyebrow. Where did you find that?
Under the tree over there. I didn't look any further. I suppose we could.
I do not know the locals of this area. Might search for more pieces.
Yeah, I said there were men missing. Anyone know this? Know him? She looks at the
You
arm
said it
again.
had.
Oh, go ahead.
You said it. Sorry, you said it had tattoos on it.
And an armband.
Yeah, a gold armband.
Would I recognize it being from the village that we?
Yeah, you would probably immediately recognize it. It's Floki's arm.
That's Floki's arm.
Loki?
Floki.
Friend of yours?
He's a man from the village. This is definitely where they were. We are following the right path.
Is that his bag over there?
That I couldn't tell you.
It's just
Skein, maybe you could look through this bag while we're working here. I'm sure you have plenty of time to talk with your bird friends later.
Skilath ignores her, doesn't so much as raise an eyebrow, but looks up at the ravens and just begins to whisper to them. What have you seen? What have you seen of the men? What happened here?
So how would they? So one of them flutters down and lands on your shoulder, and it begins to squawk. I don't want to butcher a crow. I can hear it in my head, but I just, for some reason, I'm not doing it. It's like
That's good.
into your ear. Though you notice the wind is starting to pick up, so it's becoming increasingly harder to hear each other if you're not really close. And you're immediately filled with these images, these vivid images of the men around a campfire, and then wolves and blood. And it just kind of chirps a bit. I don't know how we chirp. Chirps a bit, and it kind of drops down off your shoulder and kind of just glides over to a small copse of trees and lands on a branch and turns to you, Skilath, and goes, ah, ah. And it kind of tips its head a little bit. And you know that it's beckoning you there.
Skilath's head tilts in a mirror of the raven, and she walks for digging a little bit in a small satchel as she walks for a bit of salt to offer the raven as she reaches the bird, and then she begins to push into the copse of trees and see what she finds.
So you press in and you hear the flutter of wings, and you know the other two ravens are coming to join this one, and you hear them land on the branch. Brynja and Sylvie, as you guys are kind of dredging, do either of you, if using shields or even just your hands, to drag the snow and make this shield wall for shelter, to shelter the fire and to give you guys some protection from the element? You find that the snow, you find blood frozen and spread about under this fresh layer of snow. And why don't you each of you give me a D20 roll, just a straight D20 roll.
Skilath is
sorry, I did that.
Oh, go ahead.
That's fine.
You just roll a straight D20.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brynja and Sylvie are the ones I want to roll the D20.
Okay, straight. Oh, and by the way, I actually have a shovel.
Oh, perfect. Even better.
I would have been using my shield.
I would have been cutting branches down for us to sleep on, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, so you're...
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a what?
I rolled a 2.
A 2. Okay. So you're the first to find it, Sylvie. I shouldn't call it it. You're the first to find him. As you're pulling this snow, you uncover the upper chest and part of what's remaining of this man's face. It is frozen and torn near off. And you see him still clutching an axe that's kind of protruding a little bit out of the snow. And you can see the rest of his body has been just torn at or torn from, as if something had eaten part of him.
Well, as soon as I see him, I kind of shift back a little bit in a little bit of a shock. Wasn't quite expecting that. And then as soon as I kind of noticed, I called Brynja. I said, Brynja, you have to see this. Maybe this is not the right place to be.
Perhaps you're right. Look like we found the missing party. Or what's left. Perhaps we should keep moving.
Skein, as you make your way into this copse of trees, this encapsulating group of evergreens, it's almost affords you some shelter from the snow and wind. It becomes quieter, and you immediately see the man. He's propped up against the trunk of one of these trees. Furs kind of tucked about him. Frost and snow just caked on his beard and along his body. You could see what you believe are his entrails kind of trailing out from him, frozen to the ground and frozen to his leg. Skein?
Oh, sorry, I'm on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Skein recoils instinctively from the gruesome sight, and takes a step back, and then looks around, not expecting to see any wolves, but just more from habit. The hair on the back of her neck prickling, not from cold, but from fear.
You see this man still holds in his right hand an axe and a long dagger in the other. What unsettles you even more, Skein, is that as you take your step back, the man's head slowly begins to rise.
Her eyes grow wide.
The man tries to force sound through his lips. Skein, you have been in the village for a while, sent there by the Jarl to aid Skurva, the Volva of the village. You recognize this man. This is Hama, the village elder, the herdsman.
Skein, after her first kind of initial drawback and widening of the eyes, she moves forward, putting her fingers against his neck, feeling for a pulse, seeing if he's alive, or if it's some trick of her mind, some dark magic.
As you get close enough to do that, Skein, you see his eyes follow you. He lets go of the long dagger, and his left hand weakly reaches up for you as you feel for this pulse. His skin is cold to the touch. You can feel where you can see the blackening of it, where frostbite has begun to set in. Patches of it now, as you get close, in and around his cheeks. But you feel a pulse. It's weak, but you feel a pulse. Yes, Hama.
Skeloth, I almost disbelieving. Hama. And she kneels down next to him and grasps his hand in hers, and with her other hand begins to kind of draw little shapes just with her thumb across his forehead and down his chest, and she's going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yeah.
And see if she can maybe save him.
Yeah, as you trace these runes across his forehead, he kind of arches back, and you hear the cracking of his clothing. It's frozen and it's breaking free from the trunk. He grunts. And he has a ragged breath, and he looks at you, and he, Skeloth, what are you doing here?
I came looking for the men, for the wolf. Sylvie!
You should not be here. They are all dead. And his breath is still ragged. You see that the runes that you traced in on his forehead, some of the blotching of his skin has faded a bit. But you look down, your eyes kind of just follow down, and you look at his midsection, and it is just a torn ruin. Several feet of his entrails are laying out across his lap and frozen onto the ground. His face now is twisted in agony as your witch magics has put some life back into him. And he again feels this pain. He grits his teeth, seething against it. He says, "You are not alone. You bring others to die here."
They make their own choices. Sylvie?
So at Sylvie, at Skeloth's call, Sylvie looks up. I wanted to ask, did she recognize the guy that she unburied from the snow?
Yes. That would be Brynjolf, son of Brynjolf, or Brynjolf's son.
Okay, and so when she looks up towards Skeloth, can she see the man by the tree, or is it too far away?
The minute you kind of press in past the low branches of these evergreens, you would see Hama. He's the Huskarl. He's the Jarl's man. He's the, like I said, he's the elder of your village. He's the most affluent farmer, and as such, he's the one in charge. He led these men in after this this wolf.
How many men went out?
There were 8 in all.
Yeah. Yeah, so as soon as Sylvie sees Hama, she's like, "Hama!" And then you can kind of see panic kind of set over her face. And she's like, "Where is everybody? Where are they? Where are the rest of them?"
The answer to the question of the others, you would definitely hear Sylvie's reaction, but you would not have heard anything that Skeloth and Hama had talked about. The wind is too loud, pulls sound away.
Brynja looks over to see what Sylvia is talking about. And she would rush over, seeing the dying elder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Skeelath, you would definitely know that he is not going to survive this wound.
Varga would drop off her branches and just sort of ghost over to see what was happening. And she would look at him.
As Hama's eyes kind of scan around, he sees you, Sylvie, and you see this look of concern mixed with the pain, and he kind of looks down, or he downcasts his eyes from you, and he says, repeats again, "You should not be here. You will meet the same fate as the rest of us." And he begins to cough, and you see gouts of blood coat his lips. He spits it out onto the snow.
And what fate is that?
What happened?
Yes.
Was it the wolf?
He looks at you, Brynja, and he kind of looks back at you, Sylvie, and he says, yes, it was the wolves. Well, they struck. We barely had time to. They overwhelmed us. There was many.
Sylvie looks at him and is like, "Where's Halvor?"
Halvor's dead. He fell.
She kind of looks at him in disbelief. "You lie. You lie. He's not here. Where did he go?"
He slowly lifts up his left arm and he points past you, Skeelath, and he points and he sweeps it weakly across. They are all buried in snow. Those that were not eaten by the wolves.
At his answer, Sylvie's going to kind of rush over to where he was pointing and frantically dig with her shield in the snow, trying to uncover. Hopefully nothing.
Perfect. Yeah, so what are the rest of you doing?
Brynja kneels beside the elder. We cannot stay here. We have to find somewhere more fortified to stand this blizzard. They'll catch them like they did them.
And Varga just looks at Hamas. You know, he's going to die. We could let him out of his misery. She knows these people are not of the same customs as her tribe.
Most certainly. Is there any questions you could think to ask? A pack.
How many wolves, Tom?
Yes, how many wolves? That was the question.
Hama. He's caught at the end of a fit of coughing. Many.
Was the big wolf with them?
He looks over at you, Vaga, and he says, "They are all big. Wolves bigger than I have ever seen."
At that, Varga's blood just burns. She wants to go after the prey. She doesn't really want to spend a lot of time talking. But she also knows it's not wise to stay there. Any more questions? Be quick.
Brynja would prepare her knife to give him a swift death, but she's waiting. Do anything else?
Who succeeds you?
What? I didn't hear that.
Who succeeds him? He would smile and say, "Hilderid, my wife, my good wife. She will inherit all that I own." And you see that in his right hand, he has like this, his hand is frozen to this axe that he holds. And he sees the glint of steel from your knife, Brynja, and he smiles at you, and he nods.
I run my knife across his throat, head until he dies.
Yeah. Thick red blood flows from the wound. Not frozen, but as near as it probably can be, and still have life, until his ragged breaths stop. Sylvie, you are digging frantically with your shield in this campsite, and it's not long before you find another body. It is not your husband, but is another one of the other men from this village. You uncover his face, and then you see the arm of another nearby, and you start to uncover that. There's this anxiety building in you as you clear off the snow from his face, his frozen visage of horror, his limbs having been gnawed upon, but again, it is not your husband. I need everybody to roll initiative as these shadowed forms close in from all sides of this campsite. Vaga, you catch the scent a minute too late. The wind changes direction, and you smell it. And you do too, Brynja. You smell it. Wolf. Just as these dark shadowed forms materialize from the snow. So several of these forms materialize from the nearby woods from all sides of you. As you're throwing snow, Sylvie, you see three of these large wolves materialize a short pace from you, and you get to act first.
So approximately how far away do you think they would be?
Probably about 10, 12 feet from you.
I think for at this point, she would take one of her throwing spears that she has, and she would throw it at the nearest one.
Yeah, this wolf is just loping quickly at you, and you throw a spear at it.
17.
Yep, that'll hit.
For 7 points of piercing.
Yeah, it's a solid blow. The wolf kind of yelps as the spear glances across its side, and you see crimson blood spatter onto the fresh snow, but it's still loping at you, its jaws open. And you see 2 other large wolves behind it closing in. I imagine you'll stand up from...
Yeah, soon, and I would ready my shield, and now I'd get my regular weapon, my spear out, and be ready for it.
Excellent. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. One of my kids got up. So then we would go to Brynja. You're like in this copse of trees with the others. And
So it would be Varga because she rolled a 12.
Oh, was it? Did I get?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Varga, I'll use the same description. You would see these 3 wolves close in upon Sylvie, but as you maybe turn to face them, your eyes catch on either side of you more shadowed forms closing in on the rest of you. What do you want to do?
Varga, having spent years alone in these wildernesses, much of the time, having been shunned from her village, her tribe, chooses to disengage and just ghost off into the trees and get her bow ready. If she can do that.
Yeah, and as you start to do that, you notice...
and that would be a bonus action, by the way.
Perfect. But what you would do, Varga, as you go to do that, you would turn and try to make your way to a tree to get a vantage point, and you would see these large forms coming up, materializing from the snow, cutting you off.
All right. Then she's going to, rather than getting her bow ready, because she couldn't get away, would get her war axe out and her shield. How far would she be? She probably didn't get very far. Would she be near to
I'll leave it up to you, Varga, to determine how close you were to the other 2 that were in the copse. But I imagine you're close enough that you could hear what they were saying and see. So probably be about 15 or so feet would probably be the tops. And the wolves themselves are probably the closest wolves are the 3 that are attacking Sylvie. But then the other ones are closing in. They're about 20, 25 feet away. But you know that they'll be on you soon.
All right. She just growls. Not much of a growl there. And she goes to attack the one that Sylvie attacked.
That was a cute growl there, Varga.
It didn't do what it was supposed to. What can I say?
So which one are you attacking? I'm sorry, I was picking on you.
The one that Sylvie attacked.
Okay. Yeah.
That she's specifically fighting.
So you rush forward, and Sylvie, you see this blur of action as Varga runs by.
And that would be, let me see, I gotta add all these things together. That would be 18 to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
And okay. Now she would have had advantage on that because you get sneak attack when you're within 5 feet of your ally.
That doesn't give you advantage, but you get your sneak attack damage.
I guess, yeah, right. Okay. It's a good thing too. That would be a total of 13 damage.
Perfect. And you said you were using a hand axe?
A war axe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you move in, and I think it's just a longer hafted axe.
Actually, they're like a long dagger, short sword,
Oh,
more or less.
okay. All right.
I know
So
a
you
sax
gotta.
is a kind of dagger, but this would be, I'm sure, bigger.
Okay, cool. So what you do is you just drive this thing into this wolf, the side of this wolf's neck, opening up a gout of blood, and it falls lifeless into the snow. And then the others are still closing in on you.
All right. Now I'm going to take a reaction, and I'm going to move. Let's see. I can move up to 17 feet as a reaction if an enemy. No, never mind. I can't use it this turn. That'll be next turn. So she's next to Sylvie basically, and that's the end of her turn.
Okay, perfect. And Brynja, you're up.
Okay, and I have the cursed background. Would I sense a curse with these? Or does it just seem like really big wolves in general?
They just seem like they're bigger wolves. Well, what you would probably sense is that these are not normal wolves. These wolves are connected to the alpha, the one that you are hunting, and which might account for their larger size.
Sure. All right. I'm going to stand by Skilus, and I'm going to draw my malt and attack the first one that comes up to me. Are they
Perfect.
right on
You
me
don't,
right now?
Yeah, not yet. But I was going to say they're next, so you don't have to wait long, as several of these wolves close in on the two of you. So you can make your ready to action on one of them if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, these are wolves.
Right. Yeah. Making sure. Okay. That is going to be 10 damage when I smack them with my maul.
Yeah, you just hear the crushing of bone as you just swing this like baseball style into this wolf that's leaping at you. And it just flies off to the side, tumbles into the snow before it kind of gets up. But you can tell that you've shattered its shoulder. Perfect. Nice. Are you doing anything else?
I just let out a big, nasty growl.
Nice. Love it. And now the wolves attack. This is where it gets really fun. So two of these wolves attack you, Sylvie. So we'll get those attacks out of the way. And I imagine, what's your AC? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's going to hit you. So the first wolf hits you for 7 points of piercing damage as it just leaps out and grabs a hold of just below your knee and starts tugging at it. And I need you to make a DC 13 strength save. Oh, actually, no, not 13, 11.
You said strength?
Yeah, strength save. Yeah.
Oh, I just made 11.
Perfect. Yeah. So you are able to pull your leg free as it tries to tug you down to the ground. Then the other one attacks you. So that one will hit you as well. You get a sense. Wow, this is 9 points of piercing damage. So as you're pulling your leg free, you leave your arm open, and the other wolf leaps at you and grabs at your arm. You're able to get it up just in time to protect your throat, and then you shove it off, and the wolf kind of just falls back, rights itself, and starting to circle you. As 3 more of these wolves close in on you, Varga, from the sides.
Varga, I just want to mention that Varga is standing right beside me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys are like kind of moving. I'm assuming you guys are moving kind of in the same area as you're trying to maybe close, like protecting each other's backs, flanks from these wolves.
Yeah.
I'd like to use my reaction. I have the protection style, so I'd like to use my reaction to impose disadvantage on the roll.
Okay. Varga. So that will. So all of a sudden, this wolf leaps at you, Varga, and your throat is exposed as you're kind of cutting at it with this short sword that you have. And at the last second, Sylvie imposes her shield, and it slams against it, and kind of falls off to the side of it, and kind of just growls in frustration. Can you do that just one time? That's a hit.
Yeah, it says my reaction, and I believe I only get one reaction per turn, right?
So there's 2 hits on you, though, Varga. That's 5, 7.
Oh man, they beat the 18, huh? Ouch.
Yeah. You get a sense that they have advantage when they're close to one another attacking you. So that's 9, 11 points of piercing damage all up as these wolves just kind of start nipping at you. And then it brings us to the wolves in the copse. These wolves close in. 4 of them are attacking you, Brynja, and 2 on you, Skaleth. So we'll do Brynja first. That's 18 on the die, so that'll hit you. So it's 1 hit, 2 hits. Does a 14 hit you? Okay, that's a miss. So you block that one. And that's an 18. So that's going to be a hit. So 3 hits. Now, are you raging?
Not yet. I'm a little reluctant to rage.
4, 6.
By the way, are these magical?
6. Oh, all right. So you'll take half damage, right?
No, I'm immune.
12. 6. So you're going to take 12 piercing damage from these. Yeah, my dice are on fire tonight, guys. I apologize. No, it's connected to her curse, Taylor. Ooh, a nat 20 on Skein. So let's do the damage first. So that's 8, 10, 15 piercing damage to you, Skein, as this wolf strikes you. So do you want me to roll the percentile dice, or do you want to do it?
Oh, I'll do it. Your dice have not been kind so far.
Okay, so give me a D100.
All right, we are looking at 12.
12, okay. And 12, okay, so that's not so bad. So that's your arm. And give me a D10.
5.
5. This, okay, maybe it's not that good. So this wolf's teeth impale into your hand, and you feel it tugging and pulling, and you hear bones crack underneath its bite. If you are holding anything in your left hand, you drop it. And if you want to hold anything in it, you need to make an successful acrobatics check. And that's it. So you feel the tendons and blood and nerves. The hand is basically almost useless as it tears it up. And you just have this bloody, shredded hand as you pull it free of this wolf's mouth. And that'll bring us to you, Skein.
Skein lets out a yell, the as she rips her hand back and clutches it to her chest. And she looks at the wolf in front of her that just bit her, and she draws herself tall and leans forward over it and speaks at it in Jotun. She says, "I am Skilath. I have returned from hell, and I demand to speak to Fenryth. You will take us to him. I'd like to try and intimidate the wolf."
So is that an area effect type thing, or is it an individual thing?
That's just a thing. I don't know. It'll go
I'm going to use it as an area effect. So you have these two wolves that are kind of threatening you right now. So they would both be within the effect of this. So.
All right. Let's see how it goes. That's not great. That's only going to be a 12. I think you're muted.
I am muted. Yeah. So one of them just kind of growls at you. Its hackles come up, and you can see the one. The maw of its mouth is just slick with crimson with your blood, and the other one just kind of its hackles kind of goes down, and it looks at you, and it just growls, but not in a menacing way. As if it's trying to communicate with you. And it backs up, it kind of backs up a little bit. And are you doing anything else? You still have a move.
I still have a move? No, I'm not provoking from these guys. So I'll just stand my ground.
Okay, perfect. So that's going to bring us back to the top of the order. Sylvie, you're fighting close with Varga. You are set upon at all sides by these wolves. What do you want to do? Well, I probably know what you want to do. Why don't you tell us what you can do?
Well, I'm going to use my bonus action to smack one of the wolves with my shield. And then I'm going to take the spear that I have in my hand and jam it into the side. This is at least my plan of the wolf that I hit with the shield.
Perfect. So do you have that virtue that allows you to use your shield?
Yeah, I took shield fighting.
Yes, awesome. Cool.
So I'll roll for the shield. That would be 17. Which will do 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
I rolled max.
Okay. Now you're not adding anything to it, right? Because I believe with that feat you only get the D6.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you don't get your...
No, you don't get your strength or anything like that.
Okay, then it would just be 6 points.
Perfect. That's still good. It's a good hit. You just hear a crack, and you hear joints separating as this wolf just kind of yelps. But you can make your spirit thrust now.
Okay, I rolled 12, but I think I'm going to expend a superiority die to add to this roll. So I want to make sure I hit it. Okay, I rolled an 8, so that would be 20 to hit that.
Yeah, all you needed was 1. So
okay.
Yeah, you hit this.
So then I'm going to do that 8 points of damage plus my weapon damage, which would be another 7, so for 15 points.
Yeah, so the wolf never recovers after you bash it with the shield as you quickly drive your spear into its ribs, and it dies at the end of your spear, and you pull it free. A little stream of crimson kind of follows the head of your spear, and we'll move to Varga.
So there's one more with me and Sylvie, right?
No, actually, there are 4 that are still circling around the two of you. But you also, I guess, you probably would hear Skelet's scream of agony from the copse of trees behind you.
Yes. Yes. Varga notes that scream, but she doesn't see a way to get there. And she's next to Sylvie, and there's 4 wolves around her. They need to be dealt with. And she's going to attack one, whichever is closest. So she brandishes her war sacks and her shield and goes after the nearest one for a total of 18. I assume that hits. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't multitask. Someone sent me a message.
Yeah, So that's a total of 18 damage.
Yeah, you kill this wolf outright.
Yeah, she just dances in and slices that throat as neatly as can be, and blood goes everywhere.
You use the distraction of Sylvie
Yes.
to take advantage and finish this wolf off. Excellent. You guys are doing well on the wolves that are facing you. You now have only 3.
She's gonna stick her hand in that blood and just lick her fingers and
nice. Get a little bit of snow too. It's like a snow cone. Yeah. So just to answer your question, Emily, my understanding is it's half damage from any weapon that's not magical.
I believe it's immune to non-magical or silver. I don't know.
So what would happen is you would get bit, and what would happen is those wounds would immediately start to heal after you're hit.
All right. Is it my turn?
I believe it is. Yep.
I glance over to Skelet, who just got bit really bad, and I disengage, and I am going to push her up into a tree.
I love that. Yeah, just give me a strength check. I imagine, Skelet, you're going to let her do this.
100%.
Yeah, I thought so. So
I'm like helping her as I'm climbing up the tree.
Okay,
with
so
my
you have
hand.
advantage on the strength to shove her up into this tree.
Okay, that is 20 non-natural. Well, actually, that would be a 22 non-natural.
Yeah. You get her very expediently up into the tree, the branches of this tree. The wolves near you howl in frustration as you move one of their prey away. But then they turn their attention onto you.
And yeah, I am just going to growl at them.
Perfect. Love it. So you're basically immune to all of these wolves' attacks, but I guess just thematically we'll just play it out because they're gonna. That's a hit. A 15 hit you?
Yeah, it just meets my AC.
Okay.
My AC is a 15.
Yes. Hit. So 4 of the 5 wolves hit you. The other one you'd knock aside. So just give me 4 strength saves to see if any of them pull you down to the ground. So you would see this, Skilath, you would see Brynja just get attacked and just get torn apart by these wolves. You just see blood going everywhere. They're just tugging at her. And it's a DC 11. So if you fail any of those,
yeah, I rolled a 22.
Did you roll 4 of them?
Oh.
Yeah, because each one that hits you, they have an opportunity to yank you down to the ground.
Okay. 14. That's up in the 20s. And that's a 12, so that definitely makes it 2. Yeah, okay, I make all of them.
Yeah. So you just see her just getting, her blood is just coating her furs and her, you don't wear any armor, right?
I just have my bearskin armor, my barbarian armor.
So that's all is, but she managed to stay on her feet the whole time. And actually, Skeelith, you would probably notice that the injuries from the previous attack seem to be knitting themselves closed. And we will now go to the other wolves. I get to attack you guys out there.
Again, if any of them are attacking Varga, I'll use my reaction to impose disadvantage on one of them.
Yeah. Two of them are circling around and are lunging at Varga. So the first one, I guess you'll oppose disadvantage. Sorry, Varga, nat 20. So even with the imposition, oh wait, it's disadvantage, right?
Yeah, it's disadvantage.
Yeah, it's disadvantage, but they have advantage, so it would cancel each other out. So I rolled a nat 20. So let's do the damage first. Varga, you're going to take, let me see, 8, 10, 15, 17 points of slashing damage. And then you need to roll on the chart. A 100. So it leaps at your head, your unprotected head. You know, the one you didn't put a helmet on, Varga? Because you didn't want the disadvantage to your...
No, I was asking if I'm supposed to roll on the
100. I thought you rolled a 100. I was like, that's not good.
No, the question mark doesn't mean I rolled it. It means I want to know if that's what I'm supposed to roll.
D100. Roll a D100. That'll tell me where you're going to get hit.
Okay, 64.
64. Okay, so that's going to be your body. And then give me a D10.
All right. 5.
All right. Yeah, head would have been bad.
Head would have been pretty bad.
5?
Yeah.
As you're lunging to strike at one of these other wolves, this other one takes advantage, and you feel its teeth rip in through your abdomen, pulling the flesh and muscle aside. And you also see the spatter of, well, you probably don't have a lot of fat on you, but whatever kind of fat and crimson hits the clean snow at your feet, and you are off balance. You need to make a dex save or fall prone as this things at you.
Can I use acrobatics?
You can. Yep, you can use that.
Spiffy. That's not gonna. Well, maybe. That'd be 13.
Okay, 13. So that's pretty good. So you manage to stay on your feet, but you are now at -2 on all your attack rolls until you have someone tend to your wound. So you just feel the ache of in your gut where this thing pulls, and you see it just kind of, and you would probably appreciate this, Varga, as it just kind of hungrily eats that little bit of flesh that it's pulled free from you.
Let's see. Real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I did miss something I could have done.
Oh, what is it?
I have a reaction where if the enemy ends within 5 feet of me at the end of a turn, I could move 17 feet with no opportunity attacks. So I probably could have avoided that.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I planned to do, but I wasn't paying close enough attention, so I can pay the price.
So Sylvie, you're a second too late to get your shield there, but you do kind of buffet the wolf away, but not before it's caused its damage. And the other one will miss you. You have an 18 armor class, you said?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one, you're able to stagger back and keep it at bay with your weapons.
Yeah. How does grit come into all this?
I do not know. I don't know.
Oh, great. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Because it has something to do with surviving after you've been badly damaged, something like that.
Right. Right. And that brings us to you. We are now to you, Skilaf.
So Skilaf is up in the tree and she's watching these wolves just harry at her companions, whom she really feels no great fondness for, but she doesn't want to take on the wolves alone. And so just quietly she rubs her hands together, and it looks like black smoke begins to form. You would almost think it wasn't there, except it's just catching the snow. You can see it against the snow. And she blows. And it almost disappears as it flies through the air, and it's going to hit one of these wolves with a little eldritch blast. Geez, that might not hit. That's going to be a 14. Oh yeah, that'll hit. Sweet. And 6 damage.
Yeah. So it just ignites the hindquarter of one of these wolves that is leaping at Brynja. And it's just like this, hair on its haunch just catches fire ever so briefly before it kind of flares out. Perfect. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order. To you, Sylvie.
So how many wolves are still around us?
Excuse me? What did you ask?
Sorry, how many wolves are there around Varga and Lisa?
Remaining around you are 3.
3. Okay, well, I'm going to kind of do the same thing again. I'm going to use a bonus action to bash one with my shield, go for the spear, and we'll start there. Okay, shield, that's a 10. So,
A 10 will miss.
Okay.
So it leaps aside.
And then the spear is 11.
Oh, and your spear blow misses too.
So I'm going to use my action surge then to try another spear attack. Nope, the dice are not being good. That was another 11.
Yeah, so you're probably a bit off balance from trying to help protect Varga, and it throws off your next series of attacks. And then we'll go with you, Varga. There's 3 wolves that are still circling the 2 of you. Varga?
Sorry. I allowed myself to get distracted.
That's how chill she is. She's just surrounded by these wolves, and she's just like, I'm not too worried about it.
How surrounded am I, by the way?
Last time, okay.
How many of them are right around her?
Right around her, 3. So they're not static standing in front of each of you. They're kind of the 3 of them are moving around you. So you could attack any one of them. And let me see. None of the remaining 3 aren't harmed at all. They haven't taken any damage.
And how many are there total?
Would you like to spend your turn counting the dead and?
Well, I just want to know, kind of vaguely, like how many are chasing people up trees?
There are 3 attacking you, and you know that you between the 2 of you, you've killed 3. You don't know what's. I don't know that you really would know what's going on behind you. You hear the howling, you hear the screaming, and you hear the sounds of combat. So you know there are wolves there, but you probably don't know. So.
But am I by myself now?
Nope.
Or Sylvie's still with me?
Yeah. No, she's
Okay.
protecting you. She's trying to throw that shield.
Oh, okay. I got a little confused there. That's what I get. Okay, so because we're still together, I'm going to stay and continue working with her, and I'm going to take my war sacks and go after the next one that's close enough. Holding my shield out with and attacking the wolf. Let's see. Oh yeah. 6. That'll be 24 to hit. And it'll do 12 points of damage.
Yeah, so you nearly slay this wolf as you're just about to kind of twist your war sacks to get the killing blow to hit its lungs and heart. It recoils away, but it definitely looks very well bloodied. And
as it kind of moves away, I can just imagine her going at it.
Yeah, right.
Maybe scared a little bit too. She's getting pretty angry. She's tired of this.
Perfect. And are you moving now?
I kind of hate to leave Sylvie. She needs someone there. So I'm going to stay with Sylvie. Actually, no, I take that back. I am pretty badly injured. I'm going to use my, let's see, my cunning action, and I'm going to disengage and see if I can maybe get it up on top of that snow wall that we were doing. I don't know how tall that would be.
I don't see any reason why you couldn't make your way over there. It'll give you a little bit advantage on these wolves as you get up. About
either that or find. Actually, it would be better yet if I could find a tree to climb. But climbing it would be. Could I even do that?
With snowshoes, I would love to see it.
Right, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Maybe if you had a large barbarian shoving you up a tree, you could do it.
Right. Maybe I will go and try to get behind a tree. That might be a little more clever.
Get
some cover.
So just for my edification, are you running towards the copse of trees, towards the berm of snow, or in another direction? Because they're kind of opposed to each other. Okay. You guys are kind of in the middle of those. I'm
going to go towards the copse of trees and see if I can find one that I can take cover behind.
Perfect. So you turn, you kind of duck and weave past the remaining wolves, Varga, and you start making your way towards the copse of trees, and that's when the scene lays out before you. Oh, you see Skein up in a tree. One of her snowshoes has fallen off to the ground below, and you just see, and you're just using this big mattock, right? You see Brynja standing there. So she's using this mattock, this maul, and it's just coated with blood. And you see a dead. No, is a dead wolf? No, you guys haven't killed one yet, have you?
I smacked one into a tree.
Yeah, that one's probably getting up. And but you see these other wolves. That's when you see the other wolves, Varga. You see 5 more wolves, and you see a sixth one kind of getting up onto its feet. It's bleeding. Its coat is red. Yeah. No, I've separated it out. She's killed one. They've killed a lot outside of the copse. You guys have wounded 2. Skein and Brynja. So 2 of them are wounded. The one you hit with the Eldritch Blast and the one that she smacked with the hammer. So you run that. That's the direction you run, Varga, and we will pick up with you, Brynja. You see Varga kind of hoofing it towards you.
I look at her and I see how wounded she is. Then I kind of grunt to myself, feeling all these wolves biting me. And I'm resisting an urge deep inside to just let loose. But I'm going to try one more time to smack one of these damn wolves.
So you're cursed, and I'm going to take a little bit of. I'm going to make you make a wisdom save. Let's see if you actually stop yourself from. I mean, you're healing the damage because of your curse, but let's see if you can actually fight that very feral instinct you have.
I rolled a 12.
Oh, nice. So you lose to it. So describe for us on your turn what happens when Brynja loses to the curse that within.
She kind of holds her head and she's breathing fast, like and her skin's growing dark and hair is sprouting all over her body and her teeth is growing and her blue eye is shining as with her other eye, and she just turns into a jet and looks over to Varga and the rest and says, "Stay out of my way." And she finishes transforming into a giant anthropomorphic bear. And she lets out a great growling roar.
Awesome. Inspiration.
And could I roll an intimidation check on the wolves?
You certainly can roll an intimidation check on that.
That is a 15.
Okay. So you can make all the wolves around you immediately, their tails go tuck in between their legs and they back off. A couple of them nip at you, but they turn to run. So you can make an attack of opportunity against one of them if you'd like.
Well, would it be 2 in my form?
Oh, yeah. You would be able to get a claw and a bite. Oh, actually, no, you would still only get 1. Actually, because it's an attack of opportunity. You don't get your full multi attack. But I'll let you choose which one you want to use.
I am going to bite. And I rolled an 11. Does that hit?
11, no. So you just kind of snap at this wolf, and it's like Kalen kind of just, you ever like seeing a dog that's gotten in trouble and someone tries to swat it or something, and its hind end just kind of scoots out and you just miss it. And these wolves just scatter off into the woods, just leaving the 3 other wolves behind out where Sylvie is. You still have a move action, Brynja.
I'm going to chase after them.
Yes. Awesome. You start running after, I guess it would just be a couple of them because they all kind of went off in different directions. So like 2 of them kind of go in their general direction. So you chase after them. Perfect. Awesome. And so that's the last thing you see, Skein, as you see this woman now turn to bear. Just kind of, now you're doing it bipedal, or are you dropping to all fours and just doof, 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 doof?
I am dropping to all fours to run as fast as I can after these little bastards.
Cool. So that's what you see. She just you just hear branches snapping, snow is flying everywhere as she runs off after these wolves.
On seeing that, Varga, oh,
there's a wolf right. Hey, Brynja, there you go. There's a wolf right there. Go get that one.
Just kidding. That just expresses your approval.
You laughed at your turn.
Skein, she's just been watching this, almost jaw hanging open, as Brynjolf turns into a bear, and she feels around for her neck for the amulet of Odin that she's got, and she grabs it. She's like, Odin's beard. And they call me a witch. I'll have nothing to do with it. And she is staying up in that tree. She is not getting down.
You could probably, from your vantage point, hit one of the other wolves, the ones that are around Sylvie, if you wanted to fire an Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, she'll try and rescue Sylvie. She knows Sylvie's human. She's been in that village for a while. And,
yeah, she's definitely human.
So she grabs the amulet with her ruined left hand and rubs her thumb across it, and then just kind of pushes forward with her right hand, almost like she's throwing something. And this time it's almost a jet of silver. It looks like it's come from the amulet as it streaks towards one of those wolves.
Perfect. And what was the roll?
A natural one.
Oh. So what happens? You know how I said you had one snowshoe still on? That one snowshoe slips on the branch as you're letting loose the Eldritch magic, and it flies wide and careens off into the trees, missing a wolf. No, I don't do the crit fails where you're going to hit somebody in your group. I don't like that. Snowshoes are great when you're on snow. Not so good for climbing trees. Anyways, that brings us back to Sylvie. You're up. You see this flash of... actually, does it make any kind of flash of magic? Skileth?
Not really. Skileth has long since learned to keep any magic subtle. People are distrustful of it.
What it probably does then is it's probably by line of sight. So your vision shifts at the last second. So it like this tree, this bark of this tree just kind of flares up with the Eldritch magic and then dissipates as your eyes dart from the wolf as you start to slide in the tree, and then you catch yourself. And now that brings us back to Sylvie. These three wolves are still around you. Varga has left you alone to face them as she runs off.
Okay, well, I'm going to take my shield and kind of, swing around and smack the wounded wolf. Ooh, yeah, 21. So that's the 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, you just hit a sickening crack of bone, and as you pull your shield back, it's just slick with hair and blood. The wolf is not moving.
Wonderful. I'm going to then kind of spin around with my spear and lunge at another one that's right there. $17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Oh. 6 points of damage, piercing.
All right, good. Yeah, it's a solid blow. So now there's just two of these wolves. And the one you stab with a spear, you can make an opportunity attack against as it kind of pulls away from the cut of your spear, and it turns to run.
No, I missed on that one. I lunged at him, but he was out of my reach.
Cool. Perfect. And now we're back to Varga.
Yes. Varga, having found a spot where she's got some cover, quickly switches to her bow, and she's going to shoot. There's one still in front of Sylvie, right?
Right. So Varga, you drop your war sacks to the snow and get your bow out.
I couldn't stick it in the.
Well, you could like you could throw it down so it goes soon into the snow. Yeah, that's cool.
I can grab it real easy. Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yep.
And then she's going to grab out her short bow and take a shot at the one that's circling Sylvie.
Yeah, You see one, it looks like it's starting to turn to run, and the other one looks like it's getting ready to pounce.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to go for.
Perfect.
Oh, nice. I say I take 2 off the attack, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, oh, come on. It makes it harder to add. It's still 23.
Oh, okay, Carol. These are wolves. They're not heavily armored knights. Yeah, you easily find your mark, and remember, you get sneak attached because Sylvie's stuff.
Okay, cool. So that's a total of 12 damage to the one that's circling Sylvie.
Your arrow sinks in deeply, but it's not enough to fell the wolf. And are you doing anything else, Varga?
I think she's going to stay where she is and continue kind of using the tree for cover and getting.
So I know you're fairly new to this character class, Carol, but one of the things you could use your action to try to hide behind one of these trees, and that would give you advantage on another attack if you need it.
Yes, I would like to try to hide. Good thinking.
Okay, do that.
Or you could do the dodge action, which gives them disadvantage, but I suppose
No, she can't do the dodge. I don't think she could do the dodge because she already did an action.
Yeah. That's
so I will hide, which comes to a total of 18, so that probably.
What was it?
Total of 18.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
She's just going to sort of disappear off into
Varga feels really well hidden.
I see her just kind of ghosting off into the trees in the snow, and nobody's really going to know where she is for a while.
She hides like my 3-year-old used to hide. Close his eyes, and if I can't see you, you can't see me.
Back behind that tree, man.
And now we're back to Brynja. You are chasing down one of these wolves, and you're getting close. Give me an attack.
I'll give you 2 attacks.
That's even better. Give me a swat because you want to knock out its legs first, and then you got to chomp it.
Okay. Let's see. The first one is a claw attack, and that was a natural 20.
Perfect. So we won't even go beyond that. You can just describe how you just totally destroy this wolf.
I run right up to it, and I raise my paw. Well, actually, no, I go in for a bite immediately, and I snap my jaws around its abdomen and bite it in half.
Yeah.
And I keep running as the gore dribbles down my jowls, and I growl after the wolves.
Yeah, and I guess you might be a bit frustrated, though, as you see that as you kind of tore this this wolf in half, the other wolf that was nearby uses that advantage to kind of give more distance between you and it. And now we'll go to the wolves. So that wolf turns to flee, and you've already made an opportunity.
Would I be able to attack another one, or are they just out of range?
No, the 2 closest. So you got the one that was closest of the 2 that you ran after. The other ones are well gone. You're not going to catch those. They ran off in different directions.
Can I get I can't get a second one then?
No, they're not that close together. No.
Damn.
Because they're dashing, so they're moving twice their movement. So I believe, Sylvie, you get to make an attack of opportunity against this wolf as it turns, or both of these wolves as they turn to run from you.
Beautiful.
One with an arrow in it, and one that is fairly well damaged.
I'm going to go after the one that was fairly well damaged.
Yeah. Okay.
20.
And is it a natural or no?
No, that's with my
modified. Okay.
10 points.
10 points. Yeah. You just drive your spear into it, pinning it to the frozen ground. It kind of kicks around a bit. It kind of nips at the shaft of your spear before it dies. And you have some movement left. But as you look around, it appears that all the threats are gone. With the wind, you wouldn't hear anything else. But you look around, and it looks as if all threats are gone.
And Varga steps out. Growls. Just. And she looks at the others. Well, we chased him off.
Yeah. So you would do that for a while, Brynja. And then the anger would start to subside a bit, and you would feel control coming back to you.
I think Varga would join her, by the way. She would want to cut out the heart
Yeah.
and the.
Again,
Brynja would growl at you, trying to get into this.
so
This
She
is my
grabs another
show.
wolf. She
Just
grabs
one of the things. So it's snowing. It's snowing fairly good now. There's a good clip of a wind. So
Yeah.
Varga, you don't know where she went. She tore off into the woods. Probably the only one that knows where Brynja took off to was Skein, who was up in the tree and saw her change and run off into the woods.
I can see Varga definitely going after one of the wolf bodies and just cutting into it for the heart and the liver.
Just
eating those raw, just damn.
Let the chat know Brynja is eating a wolf right now.
Right. So we
She's
are out
really
of
mad
initiative.
about this. Yep.
We are out of initiative, and maybe there's those few tense moments after the last wolf kind of disappears from your sight, Brynja, and you can no longer smell it. You too, Varga, can no longer smell anything that smells like a live wolf, and before you can truly relax and know that these wolves are not going to attack you anymore. So what are the healing rules? I'm glad you asked, Carol. So this is how I play, because I'm really hardcore. So you can use 1 hit die for every hour that you rest. So it's not like the 5e rules where you can use as many hit die as you have on a short rest. But you guys can let me know what you want to do. But I think what we'll do is we'll take a little short break right now. It's about at the midway point. So we'll take a little break, and then we'll pick up after the fight.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so a lot of good questions in the chat. And this is, if you look up the YouTube channel, Jarl DM, guy's name is Lloyd Collins. He is crafting this homebrew world that's called Iskloft, and it's a low magic. It's built off of 5e, Cubicle 7s, Adventures in Middle Earth, and a little bit of Amethyst Quintessence, I think is the name of the game. But anyways, it takes some flavors from all of that, but it's flavored a lot by 5e, and it also is very low magic, and it's very brutal in the sense that healing is really tough. And we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back shortly. But thanks for watching. Yeah, Emily, that was well played with your character. Really liked it. I hope you're okay with me making you make that save.
No, it's no problem. It's really fair. I mean, it's a curse.
Yeah, I figured a curse is not something you could just pick and choose. Oh, I'm going to do that right now.
It really makes sense.
All right. So now that we got the easy part out of the way, you guys can really get into it.
So now we get to the part where where you're going to lose Varga.
Decisions have to be made, obviously. So I don't know if everybody's back. I know Taylor's here, Emily's here, Carol's here. I'm not sure if Karen's back.
Sorry, yeah, I'm back.
Perfect.
I'm going to need a break. I mean,
so
Varga's going to need to rest.
So we'll pick up. It's probably several minutes. Brynja's kind of returned back with the group. Probably not in her bear form, but you probably can't help but notice that her hands and face are just kind of crimson with blood, unless she's wiped it clean.
Probably not. She might be accidentally licking her lips every once in a while without thinking about it. And she probably is completely unaware that she is covered in gore.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. Well, I think we see Varga anyways, just kind of cutting out sections of the wolves and eating them raw.
Yes. And Varga glories in being covered in gore. To her, that's good. That's how her people celebrate death and life.
But a few of you don't look quite as well to wear as the others. So what is it you guys want to decide to do? I'm going to turn that over to you guys to now role play.
I have a question.
Brynja, sorry.
I had a question.
Brynja asks, I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
No questions, Carol. This is a role-playing game.
I'll yes, cut back my initial response there. On the healing from my lingering injury, does that require magical healing before the penalty goes away, or just healing?
Yes.
Magical.
So you would notice, so as you're kind of cutting out some of these livers and hearts, you would feel that, the adrenaline of the fight starts to kind of wane. That's when the real pain starts to set in for you, Varga, and you would kind of pull back your layers of your clothing, and that's when you would see probably parts of your insides that should be on the inside, and your fear might be that they might be on the outsides.
I can see a hole that kind of goes all the way into the gut, basically.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
You can see where it just kind of shredded the muscle, the lining of muscle for your abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say before Brynja actually comes back, while she's still out there eating her wolf, and while Varga's eating her wolf, Sylvie probably, within moments of the fight kind of being over, she's back digging frantically. It's kind of become almost an obsession to her to try and see if he's here or not.
Varga kind of growls at her. What are you digging for, woman?
Just silence. She's not even paying attention to you. She's focused on clearing the snow away and finding a body.
And around this time, Brynja steps forward, looking around, and says, "Still alive?"
Barely. Drove him off, though. Good job.
What in Odin's name are you? Skeloth says from a tree.
I suppose I could ask the same thing about you.
I am a satyr. Everybody knows we have our magic. What are you?
Cursed.
She spits. I'll have no part of it.
Well, you weren't much help in that fight anyway. And you're welcome. Brynja spits.
Farga laughs.
Can you believe her? I ask Varga.
I can hardly believe any of you. But that turning into a bear, that's a pretty good trick.
Sometimes. I don't know, I've had it for a very long time. My father always said that he fucked a bear and I was born. Yeah, everyone laughed. And he insists, oh, I fucked a bear. I fucked a bear.
I probably
It's
did.
beautiful. Yeah.
It's not that weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been trying to get rid of it. Trying to stay isolated so I don't hurt anyone. It's easy in Iskloft, but we do have to travel down south on occasion. I don't know. Seemed like this wolf be no problem for me. I don't know. I hope I'll get rid of it someday. That maybe I'll get into Valhalla in spite of it.
Unlikely.
Ah, you hide in trees.
And it
Yeah,
served me well.
one who went
It won't
through
get you in
hell.
Valhalla.
Didn't you
I'm
say
no
you went to
warrior.
hell?
I'm no warrior. Hell is quiet, empty, cold.
I think I'm going to have to rest and tend to this wound a little so I'll be ready for the next one. Do you think it's safe here for a moment?
For now. I think I scared them pretty good.
We killed a few of them too.
Which, if I go away, will you come down and heal these two?
Yes.
All right, I'll do a perimeter in case they start coming back. Brynja stomps away, kind of growling. I hope you can climb out by yourself.
So Sylvie, while this is all happening, you're just frantically kind of digging around in the snow, using your shield, using your spear. In all, you find 4 bodies, 5 if you count Hama, leaving 3 undiscovered. One of them is not that of, oh my gosh, I can't remember whose hand. Whose hand did you find? Was it Floki's? It's Floki's hand. You don't find Floki's body, but you find the bodies of 4 other men. None of them are your husband. None of them are Halvar. The snow is starting to come down even heavier, almost creating whiteouts where you guys could barely see, 2 stretches of your arm ahead of you. The wind is blowing and making it even like these big whiteouts where you can't even see that far. Plus, it's hard to hear. It's just whipping around. What do you guys want to do? There's no shelter here. The wind is blowing hard enough now that this berm of snow that you tried to make is just blown aside. The fire that one of you had tried to light it goes out. But you all know this. You all know you need to find shelter. something that will protect you from this storm, or you'll all die here.
Was
As
okay.
Brynja is scouting around, does she spot anything?
What is she looking for?
Well, she's looking if the wolves are coming back and seeing if there's proper shelter, like a cave or a big rock.
Right. So seeing or smelling anything is difficult with the wind. It's constantly changing. But by your best guess, you don't think the wolves are coming back. You think that you scared them quite soundly. Plus a few of them had been bloodied. But as far as shelter, you see nothing, just trees. Just tree as far as the eye can see, which isn't very far right now. You think maybe if you find a heavy enough copse of trees that you could take shelter under the evergreens, and you could pack up snow around that way. You guys would know that you could do that. It wouldn't be a long-term shelter, but it would be a shelter that would give you enough protection from at least the worst part of the storm, and may afford some of the rest of you, the rest of you that are starting to feel the hurts of the battle, to rest and heal a bit.
Once she is going to cast her heal on me, I could certainly look as well. I've got double proficiency in nature and survival skills.
Right. So you guys are going to have to
be
move,
able to find something.
I believe. Or you guys could try to do your best to make a shelter here.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Well, there was a copse of trees not far from us, right? I mean, that's where we found the dead guy. Well, the dying guy. But yeah, Brynja would probably come back and just start digging around there, whether not really looking to see who reacts at her coming back. But she starts digging with a shovel.
Does Skein come down?
Well, I think she's already down because I left.
Yeah, when Brynja left, Skein kind of watched her walk away, and then slowly, carefully, still nursing her own ruined hand, she manages to half climb, half fall down out of the tree, but the snow is soft. She approaches Varga and says, "I will do what I can. Might not be much."
Varga kind of shudders, almost pulls away, but manages to sit there while Skein comes near.
Cool. So to build this shelter will take probably the better part of an hour to be effective. So I need everybody to give me a Constitution save. And if you have any kind of resistance to cold weathers or whatever, like advantage or anything, then feel free to use that advantage.
Yeah, I've got something here. I'm going to find it.
Not 20. Jeez.
Perfect. You're perfectly fine. Bears aren't bothered by a little bit of snow. I don't typically do this, Taylor, but you do have advantage.
Right, I have my inspiration.
Well, you've got a couple of experts, I believe, with you that could help you perhaps as well.
Well, what do you know? Advantage is good. That would be a natural 20, which is much better than a natural 1.
There. You're starting to feel the cold.
Way to turn it around.
You're starting to feel the cold creep in, but your movement isn't enough to ward it off until the shelter is done. So you guys are all kind of tucked in to this small shelter. You can even start this small fire where you kind of made this little hole in the snow where the smoke kind of curls up out through the branches. And the wind is still whipping and the snow is still coming down, but you can effectively take a rest here if you would like.
Would that be a long rest since there's snow, like until
You
morning or
could
something?
take a long rest, but I'll tell you, in Iskloft, it's hard. It's kind of like adventures, like in Middle Earth. You know, you're not going to get the full advantage of taking a long rest. What it will give you is allow you to use up to 1 hit die per hour you rest.
And wouldn't she get her spells back?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, you
Skillet
don't get spells
does.
back?
Because the cedar is based on a warlock, so you get it back after a short rest.
Right. Yeah, so you would get your... Okay, right, you only have 2 spell slots.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be enough for you.
All right. Well, what do y'all think? You think we should rest for the night if we can?
If you were to recover your injuries more.
I hate to give in to them, but I want to be ready to take that big one on.
Brynja will sit next to Varga, trying to give her some of her body heat and kind of keep the first watch.
I would not like to stay here for the night. Seems a poor choice.
You have a cottage
You got
nearby?
something better?
How about we just stay till the snow lets up?
We could do that.
That would be best.
Yeah, so give me a d6 roll. Any one of you can give me that. And you guys can expend 1 hit die for each hour that you rest. So it takes about 5 hours before the better part of the storm blows past. And you hear the wind start to subside. And even though there's still flakes dropping, they're larger and slower. But you also notice that that the sky, even though still gray, is starting to darken.
It would
So what
be
do you guys
better
want to
to
do?
go back.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Taylor. My bad.
It would be better to go back.
No, we need to go on. My husband's still out there. We've got to get this white wolf.
You heard Hama. They are all dead.
His body's not here. He's still out there.
I need to get the wolf. I'm not going back.
You could drag the remains back so they get a proper burial instead of left out here in the snow.
But
Is
she sent us
anyone
with the wolf.
proficient in lore?
I am.
Right. Anyone that's proficient in lore can give me a lore roll as you guys are having this conversation and continue the conversation. I didn't mean to interrupt it.
Oh, no problem. I am also proficient in lore. Not that that does me much.
It doesn't do me much good either. I'll help you. How's that? We'll discuss what we know.
Okay.
And I will help you get an advantage on your lore.
I mean, otherwise, I just rolled an 18. And I don't get any bonuses to that, so it's just...
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. We could see if I get a nat 20.
You could roll. You might get a nat 20.
Nope.
Oh, always roll that second die whenever you have an advantage on anything.
18.
So as you guys are talking, it dawns on you that the wolves you fought were really large, and there's one wolf that seemed to stand out amongst the others. It was one of the ones that you scared off, Brynja. Its coat, rather than that kind of streaked gray, was more of a white, almost like a snow white. And you wonder if that was the wolf you sought, that was the wolf, that was the alpha that was leading this pack.
Yeah, I bring that up.
Didn't you see white on that wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It also smelt a little different to you.
Mm. Yeah, something is off about it. I don't know. Maybe it was the mate. But I suppose we'll only find out if we follow.
And Varga's just like starting to get this nervous energy that she really is ready to go on, even though she's only partly healed.
You hear the call of a raven, and it lifts down onto your shoulder, Skelath, and it kind of moves its feet along your shoulder, and it pecks. At your shoulder.
Skein reaches up and gently strokes the glossy black feathers. And she says, "Where should we go, do you think, little friend?"
Again, much like earlier, it caws, and you're able to make out like this image. Again, these image come to you as it speaks to you, and you see a river, and you see where the river drops off, and then the vision ends.
Did the river look frozen over?
Parts of it do, but parts don't.
So Skein is not very familiar with the terrain out here. She probably wouldn't recognize it.
That's a fair assessment.
She turns to the others. Even the raven doesn't know. We should go back.
I want nothing to do with the city. I will go on by myself if I need to. And she does grudgingly thank the witch for her healing, seeing that the hole in her stomach has started to come together.
I'll go with you, Varga. The Dvova, back in the town, said that the group of women could take it on. Is that not advice enough?
Sylvia looks at you two and says, "Yes, our job isn't done. We go on."
But if you would like to go back, feel free.
I'm sorry, you cut out for me. Could you repeat that?
I said, if you want to go back, feel free. There are
Skein makes a
markets on the
face.
trees.
I cannot take all the bodies back myself.
Well, I suppose you could take the arm. We still have a job to do. We can come back for them later. I'll make a few markings around this area so that we remember.
Skein will turn to one of the ravens and whisper to it, stroke its head, and then kind of point in the direction of their village. And one of the features is that the raven can carry a message, and so she's going to send it back to the village's Volva and let her know where the bodies are.
The raven caws, and it flies up and disappears into the early evening sky, which in a direction you believe is your village.
Brynja digs her clawed fingers into several of the trees, making markings, rune of the sign of death. And she highlights it further with a bit of blood, so it would be easier to spot.
Yeah, that's good thinking, because with the snow that has fallen, a good foot and a half of fresh snow has fallen, recovering the bodies that you had worked so hard to uncover, Sylvie. But the air is growing increasingly colder as you stand there, your breath billowing out in front of you. You have to make a decision, ladies.
Sylvie starts kind of pacing. She's kind of getting antsy. She's like, let's go.
Yeah, Brynja just starts walking in the direction of the wolves.
Varga kind of takes her spot out to the side and heads out to, come along.
Perfect. So my question is, which of all of you can see in the dark?
Maybe me?
Mm-hmm.
Not me. I mean, we're all human. Unless someone has magic or something special.
Or might be cursed. So it's not long as you guys set out. It takes you a while to find a path. Maybe one of the things, we'll kind of just retcon something if you guys are okay with it. So one of the things you did, Brynja, when you're doing the perimeter stuff, is you followed kind of the different trails that the wolves that fled took, and they all kind of converge at one point. So it takes you a little while, but then you're able to find that spot. And so, yeah, it takes you about 3 hours. So now it's like the beginning of evening, and you're able to find that one spot. But again, the path is covered because of all the snow that has fallen. And now it's getting harder and harder for everybody to see. These clouds have broken up a bit, and there are you can see some stars up through there, but you can only see the faintest evidence of the moon that is hidden behind the clouds. I believe that you guys would have brought torches. I just don't know if you guys want to light torches and move through the night or not.
If we're going to move through the night, I think torches would be a good idea.
Yeah, I did bring torches.
Falling down holes and things.
I did bring torches, so I definitely have enough for all of us if we.
Perfect. So I need 3 survival rolls, and I believe that you have advantage on those because Varga. I almost called you Volga. You're vulgar. You're a vulgar Varga.
I also have advantage because of my.
You guys are advantaged everywhere, so you have advantage.
Yeah.
Give me 3 survival rolls.
I rolled a 21.
Okay, give me 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah.
Rolled one at 23.
Oh no, Brynja's making the rolls.
Oh.
You're just giving her advantage. Well, she already has advantage, but you would be giving her advantage.
Well, dang.
Okay. All right, 20 non-natural and 15.
Yeah, it's okay. So give me a D4 on.
I like that.
That's a 1.
You don't know if you want to roll high or low.
So that's the magic of not telling you. Actually, in this one, you wanted to roll low, so she did well. So you travel through the night. As your torches start to burn out, you light another. And for the most part, you're doing a swell job, Brynja, of keeping this path. And when you start to kind of go off the path a bit, Varga is able to kind of say, "Oh wait, no," and keeps you on the path. But then the labors of your day, the labors of the fight, start to catch up with you. And even though you rested, it wasn't as comfortable a rest as you would have in a longhouse with a warm hearth and mead and food. So you start to drift off, and it's an hour into this trek that you realize you are hopelessly lost from the path that you were following. You search the ground, you kind of wave your torch across the ground. You even, I think, the both of you probably get down and start sniffing, and you smell nothing. I mean, even though it was faint before, you could always catch a little bit of that hint of the wolf. So you're not sure at what point, but, well, actually, I just told you, but that's metagame. So at some point you've lost. You guys know that you lost the trail.
Somewhere in that hour, we lost the trail.
Somewhere in that hour. I guess you would guess the last time you had a really good scent of the wolves was probably within an hour.
Okay.
And I need everybody to give me a con roll, please. That's a save, con save.
Against cold?
Yes, ma'am.
I have advantage. Oh, a nat 20.
That's good. I love it. Get those nat 20s out now, ladies. Get them out now.
You only have nat 20s, man.
You don't know how this game works, guys. You got to get the nat 20s for the fights.
Plus 5, so it's like
I rolled a 24.
Yeah. Skilaf, as you're making your way, following the rest of this group through the evening, you start to feel the cold of the winter around you starting to eke its way into your bones, into your joints, into your muscles. You're starting to shake and shiver.
We should go back. We should go back.
And you are now suffering from one level of exhaustion.
Varga looks at her, almost kindly for Varga. You couldn't make it back. You need a fire. We're going to have to stop. As much as she hates to admit it, she sees it. Yeah. She doesn't want to just have the have her die out here. She could use her.
Now, as the game master, might I ask a question? Do poor Sylvie and Skilaf know that you guys are lost? Because really the two of you, the only two that know that you guys are lost, that you lost the trail, are Brynja and Varga. The other two don't know. They're just following along with you.
Yeah, I'm completely trusting them.
Yeah, Brynja is kind of sniffing around desperately, looking at tree markings or whatever.
While she's busy doing that, I'm looking at a Skilaf and I'm like, she looks a little cold. So I'm going to pull out, I have a blanket that I packed with me. So I'm going to pull it out and drape it around her to give her a little bit of cover. She looks underdressed.
God damn it. I've lost it.
I was afraid of that. I can't find it either.
And
That
Brynja
snow,
kind of
wind.
digs around in the snow, trying to get something. Very irritated.
Varga looks the other way.
It seems our choice is made. We must go back.
I don't know that we could do that. I don't know exactly that we could find our way back. We must shelter.
There's no shelter. We have to go back.
You'll freeze out there. We're going to have to make a fire somehow.
Can I roll another check to try and find the trail?
You definitely can. What is everybody else doing? What are you doing, Sylvie? Oh, you gave her the blanket, but are you doing anything else?
No, at this point, I'm letting the two wild women, who know this area best, lead the way, and so I'm just kind of, pacing around and hoping that they find a way to go, because I want to keep going.
And I would be helping Bernia look for the trail so that she would have advantage.
All right, so the two wild women wander off, and they roll a...
Yeah, I rolled a 15. I rolled 2 11s.
Yeah, okay. You become increasingly frustrated, Brynja, as you're not able to find this trail. You wander through the woods, following your... thankfully, you're able to follow your trail back to the others. You see Sylvie and Skeeleth just kind of huddled for warmth. And I don't know if you guys would want to start a little fire or anything.
I would like to do a look around to see if there's any place to have just a little bit of shelter and a fire, if I could do that.
You know what I could do? Give me a second roll. You guys can maybe at the same time you're looking for this trail. You could also be looking for a place to shelter. That'd be like your second mission.
Okay. That would be 15.
I rolled a 21.
Ha,
Yeah.
about time.
And
So-
I would also look over to Varga in desperation, like, try howling. Perhaps they'll
Howling?
respond.
Perhaps what?
They'll respond. Wolves, they contact over howls.
Ow! She
Your
howls.
howl carries off into the night. You listen. You hear nothing.
We better hole up. This is getting us nowheres.
But you do find your torchlight just catches a tree fall. As you go over and kick some snow out of the way, you notice that these rocks are situated just right. It's not a true cave, but it creates this sort of cave effect where this tree has fallen across it, this evergreen. So almost obscuring it. You just happen to just catch it with your eyes, and you know that this would be a spot where you could adequately make a shelter. The floor of this faux cave is actually fairly dry. Some patches of ice and a little bit of snow that's maybe blown in.
I definitely call over to the rest. Over here, bit of a cave.
You would have to travel to them. This is further
all right.
away.
You go get them. I'll start a fire.
Yes, excellent. Split the party.
We're already split. We got to get it back together.
Brynja goes running back to the other two.
Perfect. You run back. Vote.
You left
Varga, I need you to roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Oh, geez. It's almost funny.
So you're starting a fire. Brynja returns to the two of you, and I cut you off so bad. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like, Skileth kind of flinches away from Brynja as she comes up running.
We found a cave. You can warm your cold self up. And Brynja starts leading the way back.
Perfect. Yeah, you easily lead them back just following your tracks, and When you get there, you can smell wood fire or wood burning, and as you tuck in past this tree fall, you see that Varga has started a small fire.
Yes, and she has a little pan with her, which is a little pot, and she's put on some water to heat. Knowing that in this kind of survival, you need liquids and you need warmth.
Yep, perfect. So you guys can take a much more effective rest here if you would like, at least through the rest of the evening, until daybreak, if you want.
So functionally, I think I only have 1 hit die left. Yeah, so Carol's asking the same question. Do we recover any hit die?
How long do you
during
want
this
to rest? Do you want to rest effectively for 6 to 8 hours, which would be a little bit later in the morning?
I think it would be good.
Yep. So you would get half your expended hit die back. And I don't know, I can't remember by the rule if it's rounded up or rounded down. I think it's rounded up, right?
Well, at level 4, it'll come out even anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm just saying if you expended 3, you would get half of the 3 you expended back. So.
I suppose.
Anyways, so you take a long rest, and you are feeling much better, Skeelith. The cold has you've worked it out of your muscles and joints and bones, and after a warmer meal prepared by Varga, your spirits are a bit higher, and you step out, and it is no longer the gray skies of the day before. The sky is clear and blue, and the sun is shining, almost creating a peaceful scene. And you guys can pick up the trail again. So give me a survival roll as you guys.
Well, before we go, Varga looks specifically at Skeloth, and she sees that she's not really versed in the ways of the woods, and she hands her a rather dirty, kind of nasty piece of leather and says, "Protect your eyes. It's going to be bright." Okay, we're supposed to roll what, constitutions?
Yeah, Constitution.
That would be all of 8. Oh, I should put it in chat.
Do you want us to roll survival as well for tracking?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
You got an 8 on a con save, Carol?
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
Oh, with advantage?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot. I picked him up, so now I don't know. Maybe I looked at the small one.
All right, well.
No, hold it. What did I roll? No, it was advantage because I rolled a 1, and I rolled whatever ended up giving me 8.
2?
I wanted a 2. Yeah, something stupid like that.
Wow.
Maybe it was a 1 and a 5, and I did it wrong.
But
it was a 10 or something. Yeah. But it's still really bad.
So, Varga, I'm really interested. What's kept you up this when everyone else was resting? So now you're feeling tired.
I think she still has some pain from that gut wound. It healed, but it still hurts. And then she started kind of having dreams while she was trying to sleep, and dreams of the wolf, and dreams of when she was cast out of her tribe for stealing that wolf totem, and just how badly she needs to get back with her people, and how foolish she was to have stolen that in the first place. But she'd hoped to gain power through owning it, because power is what you need in your tribe. Power, position.
Right.
Now she has neither.
And because of that, you are not as rested as the others, and you are experiencing what would effectively be the first level of exhaustion. As you all set out, and did you post the survival roll?
Oh, survival.
No, I did that. I rolled a. I was just waiting for everyone to get through their Constitution saves, so I didn't get.
Yeah.
I rolled 18.
Perfect. Yep. So you take a little time, but you're able to backtrack a bit, and before you find where you believe you missed the where you kind of went astray, you kind of veered off to the left when you should have kind of veered to the right down this slight embankment, and you travel that way for about a half an hour, and then you hear the sounds of running water as you come through break through a copse of underbrush and trees. You see a river laid out before you. Parts of it still open, unfrozen, where the water is moving faster. You immediately, Skileth, you immediately recognize this from the vision given you by the raven.
We are close.
So you follow the river. The scent is much stronger here. It's actually getting stronger for the two of you. And about an hour further down this river, you start hearing the sound of not just the rushing water, but like the sound of water falling and hitting stones. And slowly what materializes before you is the river drops off about a 20, 25-foot waterfall to a small pool below. It's frozen along the edges. And then further down the river, it's frozen again. And you see this cold mist just coming up, and it's just covering all the rocks and stones in these sheets of ice. Again, this is a vision given to you by the raven, and you smell it strongly now. The smell of wolf.
We're getting very close. I can smell them.
Varka just rumbles in the back of her throat.
Is there a way to get down the waterfall? Can we like walk around and go down a hill?
You see that you could cross. If there's a way that you could cross the river, you see on the other side there's a way where it kind of slopes down the bank, and it'll bring you down to the base by this pool. But it's not sheer cliff, but it's rather steep to the other side, the side that you're on. It kind of swings out. You think that you could go further along that way. You think that if you look, you can see where you could make your way down, but it would take longer. The choice is yours.
Mm.
I guess if you had rope, you could lower yourselves down, but that's a third option.
Anyone have an axe?
I got a hand axe.
I have hatchets and I have rope.
Perhaps I can chop down a tree so we can get across this river.
You could probably push it over.
Good point. I look for a good tree and I see if I can give it a good smack with my maul. Do you want me to roll it or?
I think it's pretty mundane. I think that you would just take you a couple of good solid blows, and you would. It's probably like a tree. It's probably about 6 to 8 inches in diameter, and you are able to snap it, and it.
Right. And I drag it over to flip it across the river.
Yep. So the river itself is you choose a point where it's narrowest. So the tree is probably about 20, 30 feet. So that's probably about 18 feet here. So you kind of push it across, maybe with a little help from Sylvie and Varga. So you now have this makeshift. I imagine you chopped off, you pruned branches from it.
Some. The rest I kind of leave it kind of like as a rail to help support.
Yep. Perfect.
So they could grab on as they go by.
And you kind of test it, maybe jump on it and shake it a little bit, and it seems sturdy enough.
I go across.
Perfect. Just give me an acrobatics, please.
All right. This is where things could get fun. That is a 13.
Yep, things will get fun. You get about halfway across this tree, and you're a large woman, and I don't mean that as an insult. You're just a And as you do so, this tree starts to kind of bow, and as it does, it dips down into the water. So the water's just running over, which makes it slick. And as it does, you're stepping and your foot slips and you start to fall. You can give me a dex save. As you reach out to grab some of these branches you left for rail.
19.
Perfect. You grab branches, and now give me a d6 roll.
All right. 3.
That's not so good. So you are able to catch yourself, but not before from your waist down splashes down into this icy cold water. You feel it pulling at your furs and your leathers as you pull yourself back up onto this tree. If you want to continue going across, just give me another acrobatics roll.
That is a 12.
Okay, you know the deal. Give me a dex save.
All right, that's a 16.
All right. So
and
you catch yourself.
D6. Did you want me to roll?
6. Perfect. Yeah. So you slip, and as you catch yourself, you actually stumble and kind of roll onto the bank, avoiding falling back into the river. So the rest of you, this is what you've seen. Who's next?
Varga's thinking, Iskloft is going to need help. And she looks at Sylvie. Do you want to help her, or shall I?
Oh, no, I'm not doing this. We should go back.
Iskloft, if you go back by yourself, you want to go 10 feet. You will get nowhere. At least we can keep you alive. Come with us.
I survived death. I'm not going over that just to die again.
You're going to go off in the wilderness and die on your way home. How's that any better? At least with us, you have a chance.
I can find my way.
But then find your way across the log.
Her eyes.
I'll just pick her up at this rate.
Iskloft goes to the log and, like, hands and knees begins to crawl across it.
Perfect.
I will roll on her first.
I will give you advantage, Iskloft, as you kind of shimmy across this. I imagine you take your snowshoes off to do this. I think you all would do that.
Yeah. And Brynja shakes the water off like a dog.
Even with advantage, that was an 11.
Oh, give me a dex save, Iskloft.
Oh, that one's good. That's an 18.
Perfect. You catch yourself, and now give me a d6 roll.
One.
Ooh, okay. Oh. Heads or tails?
Oh, no. Heads?
You start to slip. You frantically grab at these branches, and as you do, you catch one, but not before your head dips into the cold water. It's immediately bracing as it goes by, and there's almost that moment of like peace as it's just like mutes everything else. This, the sounds of the wilderness, and you quickly pull your head back up. The upper torso of your body is just drenched. And you can give me another roll to shimmy across the rest of the way.
Can Brynja help, like reach out to grab her hand?
She's already. I mean, you could, but she's already at advantage.
All right, sure, yeah.
But you mean
16?
Yes, that's enough. So you shimmy across. You feel your hair already starting to freeze in the cool Arctic air, and
this is a terrible idea.
All right, who's next? We got Varga and we have Sylvie. It doesn't look so bad. The other two got across.
Up to you, Sylvie. Go first or second?
I'll go next.
I'll take up the rear.
Yeah.
I rolled the 19 on the first.
Perfect. Yeah. You've learned from the passage of the other two, and give me the second one.
15.
Yep. You kind of slip a little bit. Your foot kind of dips into the water, but then you immediately correct your, kind of adjust your balance, and you get across.
I guess it's my turn, and she puts her snowshoes on her backpack. Starts across. Oh yeah, let's see. That would be a total of 24. So she's going to lightly and quickly move across the first part of this with her confidence.
Yep. You've been probably watching the path of everyone else has taken where they place their feet.
Well, and it's not the first log she's crossed an icy river on.
Okay.
Let's hope she's not overconfident. Nope, she's not overconfident. This one comes to 25.
Okay. Yeah, so she
just kind of like flows across the bridge.
Perfect. Brynja, give me a con save. I already asked Taylor to give me one, or Skileth to give me one. So I'm gonna need you to give me one too, because you fell in the water.
22, and I probably help her dry her hair.
Yeah.
What is left of me dry.
Amazingly enough, you look at Skileth, and it seems like the cold of the water has no effect on her. The water just kind of runs off of her, and she's not dry, but she doesn't show any signs of being affected by the wet clothing. But you guys all would know wet clothing in the Arctic is basically death. It's going to sap away all your strength and heat. But what do you guys want to do?
Now, did we cross above or below the waterfall? Below it, I think.
You guys crossed up above, probably about
okay.
30, 40 feet back where it was narrower. And then you guys can work your way along the bank. And I said that there was a way that you could get down to the pool below.
What can we perceive? I particularly want to use my keen senses for a wisdom perception check, noticing ambushes and hidden creatures.
Yeah. You could give me a roll for that. If anybody else is doing anything like that as you guys are walking along the bank, please let me know.
Yeah.
That's a total of 21.
Yeah, I got a 12.
Yeah. You don't. Neither of you see anything that stands out as an ambush. The visibility is pretty good. There's only a really light breeze. Like I said, you definitely both smell wolf. There's no doubting that. You're close, you know.
Is
And
it getting stronger as we go towards
yeah, as you work your way
Yeah.
along this bank and then start working your way down, wending your way down to the pool, you definitely get stronger for the two of you. And I just need everybody to give me an acrobatics roll as you guys are making your way down there, especially as you get down closer to the bottom where there's stones are wet and icy. Well, I have good news. You guys get down there, but you get down there kind of comedian style. I'm going to say, Sylvie, you're the first. You slip and start tumbling down to the base, just to the bank of the pool, and then it's just kind of this like this domino effect as you knock Skeelith off her feet, and then the two of you slam into Brynja, who is large and it's defies logic, and you just take her down, and then the three of you just take Varga down, and you just are just like a tangle of legs and arms and furs and weapons. Everyone's going to take 3 bludgeoning damage as you're just banging into rocks. Oh, that is perfect. Well, if you get the bad rolls out of the way now, I guess. So anyways, your pride's a bit bruised, but other than that, no real worse for wear. You guys get back to your feet and you're standing along by the edge of this pool. What do you guys want to do?
Glare at everybody that banged into me.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? I thought you were more coordinated than that. Then she starts looking around to see if there's any evidence of a wolf's lair or somewhere the wolves might be hiding out.
Yep. Survival.
Yeah. Ditto.
You can give one too, Sylvie. I believe you're trained in survival. You notice at first, Sylvie, you see wolf marks all over in the frozen mud near the bank of this pool. They seem to they kind of mill all around this side of the bank. But you pick up a trail and it leads towards the waterfall. And there's this very narrow kind of outcropping of rocks that run around along up to the waterfall.
It's back behind there. And she points towards the waterfall.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Well, looks like we're getting wet anyway.
Maybe there's a way around the side a little. Sometimes there is.
Brynja, how deep is the pool?
As you peer and look, you're probably thinking maybe 8 to 10 feet.
The pool's probably dangerous as all get out.
Mm.
Yeah, so you have an option. You could go through the pool to get to where the water's coming down, or you could try traversing along the ledge.
Perhaps I could knock down a bunch of trees, make it like a giant net. Brynja mutters to herself.
Looking at it all, looking at them, Varga just starts going along the ledge.
Sylvie's going to follow Varga.
Let's get this over with.
So Varga goes first. Give me an acrobatics check as you start making your way along this ledge. Now it's not high. It's at probably its highest point is probably 3 feet above the surface of the pool at its highest point. So it kind of goes up a little bit to that 3 foot point, and then it kind of dips back down to almost pool level, maybe about a foot or so.
I don't suppose I have any kind of advantage on that one.
I believe you have inspiration.
Oh, I think I will use it because I don't think that's going to quite get me there. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to need inspiration more somewhere else. I only have one. Nah, I'll use my inspiration. You say you're generous. I'll trust you.
That's not one shots,
That's a little
Carol. I'm
better.
not generous in one shots.
Oh, now you tell me. No. You're such a jerk. That comes to a total of 13, even with advantage. I'm not meant to do well on this particular. I'm too proud going down the ledge program.
Yeah, so you can give me a dex save. You know the deal. This is.
Yeah. Let's see. That's right.
Yeah, Brynja's just not doing this. She's gonna knock down some trees.
Oh, that's a nat 20. Plus 4, that's 24.
Okay, cool. So you start to slip, and you do one of those kind of. You ever seen somebody slip on ice and their feet kind of, and then you catch yourself. All right.
She's kind of.
And then it's like that moment maybe where you pause and like, okay, I got sure footing, and then you could give me another roll to get you to the base of this ledge where it meets the waterfall.
Well, now I'm using the inspiration. I don't think the nat one was going to help me there at all. All right, where did you go? I'm 14. Better than a 1.
Yeah, it is better than a 1. It's not good enough to not have a dex save. This is great, man. I love this.
Oh, no. No. That's only 7.
Oh, yeah. Zoom. Boom. Okay, give me another one. So you just see her. Varga catches herself. She starts going down, and all of a sudden, her feet come up underneath her. She tries to, again, right herself.
Nat 20. I'm really rolling all over the place.
So it's those science dice you have. And they're consistently all over the place.
They're random.
And yeah, so boom, she catches herself. You kind of skin your knee a little bit as you catch yourself, and maybe that little tweak in your back. But boom, you're able to actually come to a stop at the base of this ledge, just to the left of this waterfall.
She's kind of standing there with her mouth open, panting.
And I believe
this is a little more than she bargained for.
I heard Brynja said that she's going to start maticking some trees down.
Yes, because screw this. I am not doing a ledge check. Yeah, I'm going to start knocking some trees down to...
Give me a survival roll.
All right. What? I got a 12.
And actually, Sylvie could give you advantage if she wanted to. If you guys are kind of watching Varga, and maybe you guys are talking, saying maybe there's got to be a better way.
There's got to be a better way.
So make another roll and take the higher of the two.
I think Varga's going to agree with you.
Oh, thank God. 23.
23. So as you guys are chatting, one of the things you think of is, yeah, you could probably cut and matic some trees down, but that's going to take a lot of time. Plus, it's probably going to make a lot of noise. And the other thing that you might do is you have a shovel, so you might be able to chop up some of this earth that it's frozen, but you could chop it up and maybe spread that along the ledge, and it would give you a little bit surer footing on the icy stone.
Yeah, I suppose. Get out my shovel.
Yeah. So you make pretty quick work of that. And what you do is you go ahead and you just start spreading this sand along the ledge. Anyone that goes now on their 2 acrobatics checks have advantage.
I definitely failed my first one.
Oh my god! With advantage, guys.
I rolled a 3 and a 5.
Oh
I
no!
rolled
Well, just
a
let's go one at a time because I think
Yeah.
poor Brynja did not do fair well in hers either.
Ugh.
So which of you goes first?
Definitely not Brynja, because she's like, I still
fell in
don't feel
earlier,
good
yeah.
about this.
Okay.
Because I'm a big lady, and that's a low ledge.
Skilleth, you go and just give me the dex save.
15 for the dex save.
Okay, good. Excellent. And just give me the d6 roll.
Let's see, d6. That's a 3.
Oh, shoot. So as you catch yourself, you slam your already wounded hand up against the side of this, and pain just shoots up through your shoulder, and that's it. Now just give me another roll.
Do I have advantage on this one?
Yes,
Or
you do.
not, since I'm climbing out?
No, you're not climbing up. You started to fall, and you kind of reached out, and that's when you slammed your hand to balance yourself against the side of
12.
this. 12. Dex save. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of Big Wolf, and we're just gonna keep having these kind of challenges.
Why can't I roll like a 17 on my acrobatics instead of my dex save?
Yeah, so you catch yourself, and then just give me a d6 roll.
Jeez Louise, you can see Skileth, and she goes a little bit and slips, and then goes and then slips, and it's a 4.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you do this split as you come down that little where it inclines a little bit, and you do a split, and you kind of bang your knee a little bit, and you feel it kind of hit just the top of your the bone below the knee, and it's smart.
Hammer.
Yeah. And Varga's just watching this. Okay, Brynja.
I rolled a 13.
Okay, so just give me the dex save. You want to make this. This is the important
That is
one
the
to make.
yeah. Do I get advantage of my dex save?
No.
Inspiration? Yeah, everybody had inspiration.
Yeah, everybody had inspiration. I believe you had 2 inspiration.
Kind of think she.
Yeah, but I used one for a roll prior.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a 16 on my dex save.
Yeah, and now you just give me a d6 roll.
That's a 2.
2, perfect. Yeah, so you catch yourself, and you kind of slam your arm and your hand down on the ledge and up against the wall of this, and you balance yourself, and then you kind of get back up, and you can give me that last roll.
And Brynja makes a comment to herself. You know, maybe we'd just be better to swim. But she makes a 19 with her acrobatics.
So you kind of press up against the side of this I don't know what, it's just sheer cliff, and you make your way down to the other 2, just leaving Sylvie the last to make the journey across. So 2 acrobatic rolls, and if you fail one, the DC is 15, and the save is 15.
I got a 14 on the first one.
It's got to be that rise part of this ledge, because I thought for sure the lower part would give you the trouble.
Oh, I got a 7 on my dex save.
Okay. All right. So you see, Sylvie, you guys have, with your slipping, have pushed out the sand and the mud that was laid down. She hits a soft, slippery spot. You see her slip, tries to catch herself, and she doesn't look like she's going to catch herself. Make another dex save.
5.
All right, yeah. And she goes down into the pool with a splash of icy cold water. You are completely doused, and then you come up, and you can actually stand in the water. It's probably only about 4 feet deep here, but you are entirely soaked. And you could walk the rest of the way in the water to where they are and pull yourself out.
Oh, absolutely. I'll walk. Or are they behind the waterfall at this point?
No, they're just to the left of it.
So maybe I'll just go through the waterfall because I'm wet already.
Yeah. So, so when you get there, you would find, well, the water's coming down. It's pelting pretty hard. So as you kind of push through it, you see that there is a cave beyond, much like you guys suspected. And you could pull yourself up onto it. And you guys would see her on the other side of the water. If you guys press against the wall, you could probably slide through and not get very wet.
As soon as I'm through, I'm going to take off my big wet fur cloak and drop it down on the ground.
Perfect.
Some of that weight off.
You will actually give me a con save too.
21.
Perfect. Yeah, you're pretty hardy and used to the cold. Any effects of your wet clothing is not something you have to worry about now. But there you go. You guys are all now standing. You can hear the waterfall behind you. Mist what is kind of rolling up, and this dark cave mouth greets you, and it goes down. And Brynja and Varga, you would smell it. This is a den. You know the smell. You've probably hunted countless animals in your past. And
it smells like my tribe.
And I believe one of you has an ability that allows you to sense supernatural.
Well, I do. I have a cursed background, so I can sense.
Okay, give him yours, and I'll give him mine, which is different.
Oh, like what are we rolling?
You're not rolling anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you just have that, that like hair rising on the back of your neck, shiver down your spine feel. You believe that this
I think
is
that's
the
the one I have. Where is that?
Yeah, I think you said you had the cursed background.
Yes, I have the cursed background as well. Yeah, anything that has to do with the wolf and supernatural would cause like the muscles in the back of my shoulders to tighten up and let me know that it's there.
So it's more of a latent feel, like it's not that tightening up. But you also see that the cave is kind of a tunnel and it kind of goes down into darkness. So you guys would have to light torches.
I'm going to whisper to the others. I know it's in there. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I just know. I know she's down there. Let's go.
Stay close.
Yes. She was going to say something, but she's quite sure that Skilleth will. I didn't say that right. Yeah, Skilleth will stay close. And
Yes,
behind where she belongs.
In the back.
Yes, stay in the back.
Sylvie gets her shield and spear ready for the fight ahead.
Perfect. You guys strike tinder and light torches. Who's carrying a torch?
Skilla?
I can carry a torch, one in one hand and my weapon in the other.
I can carry
my
a
shield
pumpkin in
handy.
the back. So I don't know how much light it would give you guys at the front.
Oh, it would highlight us nicely. We'd be great targets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, it won't matter.
So, Skeleth has a torch. Anyone else? And you, Varga?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you guys make your way down this tunnel.
One thing, Lionel?
Yep.
As soon as I actually see a wolf, I'm going to ready an action and throw the torch at it and grab my shield.
Okay, perfect. You guys make your way down this tunnel. It kind of bends off. It kind of dog legs, like how I did that, dog legs off to the right, and then it kind of opens up into this larger cavern. You see bones and bits of fur and skin strewn about the floor of this cave. It appears to be empty, save two still forms that are laying off the far side of the cave. They appear to be humanoid, bundled in furs.
There's no light though in the cave other than our torches.
Just your torches.
Okay. I think that at that point, Varga would just take her torch and throw it out in the middle of the cave. So that light would be in the middle of the cave where she can see what's going on.
Yeah. It kind of sputters a bit, and the light kind of dims for a second, and then it kind of brightens back up again. So it's kind of shedding that light in that 20-foot or 40-foot diameter there, which gets almost to all the edges of the this cavern.
Do we see anything besides these two humanoids?
No, just the bones, the refuse of whatever the wolves feast upon.
So Sylvie, seeing the humanoids, she's going to rush straight at them.
Sylvie, no.
Yeah, she's going to go.
You run over. Both forms appear still. And as you look at the first one, you kind of roll this man over. His face is coated in blood and mud, and you kind of wipe it aside. It is not your husband. It's Eric, who is again a farmer from your village, and you move over to the other one and you look, and it's Halvar. You check. He appears to be breathing, but you see that he has a vicious scratch down his face, and it's taken his right eye. His ear is just dangling off, but he appears to be unconscious, as does the other man.
She kind of like, Halvar, and like tries to shake him a little bit to see if she can wake him up.
Hush, hush.
His ear kind of flops around a bit, but he doesn't come conscious.
She's going to say, Skein, come here, please, please.
Skein is still standing behind Varga, and she is looking around, kind of shaking her head almost imperceptibly. We should be careful, Sylvie.
They're still alive. They need your help.
We better find those wolves first.
I can smell them. Where are they?
I can feel it. Would I feel it even more strongly now?
No, it's about the same.
Hmm.
The smell is stronger here for the two of you. But as they say that, your shoulders begin to tense.
Mm-hmm.
Varga.
They're coming.
And then you hear the clicking of nails on stone.
Oh, what happened to my chance to roll for hiding creatures?
It's not hidden. It's coming down the tunnel behind you.
That's not hidden. No.
No, that's not hidden. And Varga, you're probably closest to the mouth of the cavern. So you're the first to see this large wolf materialize in front of you. It's pelt almost a pure white, just a little dusky, and it just has this low growl.
I growled back.
And
take a defensive stance.
Let's roll some initiative.
Trying to get me a chance to use any of my cool.
That's what happens in one shot. We can't necessarily always use everything.
Do I have the disadvantage on initiative? Or okay. In that case, it's more than that. In that case, it's way more than that. Because I would have advantage.
Well, what do you mean disadvantage?
Oh, for exhaustion.
I believe the first level of exhaustion is just half your movement.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a different level. The first level is disadvantage on abilities checks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that would be your initiative then. So you have disadvantage.
Was initiative an ability check?
Yeah, it's attached to your. I think I saw a save advice where they said that.
Okay.
But you don't get disadvantage on your attacks, though.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and I don't get actual disadvantage on that because I would have had advantage. I just have to take my roll.
Right.
So that's not that bad. This would have been really good if I could go down for advantage. I just want to do it right.
I think you're still going to be the first to act from. So here it is. So as this thing comes in, it just goes, and this gust of wind rolls out from this, and your torches go out. You're all pitched into darkness. Varga, it's your turn.
Oh man, even the torch way out in the middle of the cave, huh?
It got well, actually, you know something? Skeelith, you're over by the fallen men, right?
Yeah, I'd walked over there when I could see there weren't any wolves in the cave with us.
Yeah, okay. Your torch is still sputtering. It kind of wavers a little bit, much like when Varga threw her torch in the center, but then it kind of lights back up as the reverberations of the howl stuff. So you still have that. So you're in dim light right now, Varga, and the wolf's in dim light, but the rest of you are in light.
How far away from me would it be?
Probably about 20, 25 feet.
Let's see. Probably it wouldn't work. Would it be possible for me to use my acrobatics to jump on the back of it? Or coming from the front and in the dark like that, or near dark, would that not be? Would that not be workable?
You're at disadvantage to see the wolf. Like you can see like the big shadow of it. Yeah, you can do it at disadvantage if you try to jump on this wolf.
If I attack, what about advantage and disadvantage? I mean, obviously, I don't think I have advantage. But will I have disadvantage to attack?
You can see it well enough that you're not going to have disadvantage. If you're in pure darkness, it'd be disadvantage.
Okay, but I mean, it's white. So if there's some light, I should be able to tell where it is.
Yep, you can. It's big. Okay. It's probably about the size of a horse.
All right. I am going to basically just charge up with my shield out and my war axe out and attack it. Let's see if I pick the best dice. Let's see. That'll be a 19.
Yep, you hit it.
I won't get any extra damage. Can't imagine.
Nope.
There's nobody near it or any reason to get a sneak attack, but that's a total of 8 points of damage. Then she's going to use her bonus action to let's see, how does that work? Yeah, bonus action I can disengage, and my movement is 35, so I'm going to move like 10 feet back away from it again towards the crowd.
Actually, your movement is half that. You have exhaustion, isn't it? Or is it? No, that's the second level.
You just said that was an ability check.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
My bad.
That's okay. So I will move my other 10 feet back away from it.
Perfect.
Holding my shield up to protect myself and getting closer to my comrades.
Right. And it growls as you stab it with your steely knife, and it just howls. And this howl is different than the other. It just shakes the whole cavern. I need everybody to make a Constitution save. Oh shoot, I thought I meant muted. Sylvie, you're going to take 10 points of thunder damage as this thing just buffets you with this howl. Everyone else, you're going to take 20 thunder damage, and you're deafened. You can no longer hear.
I have a feat that allows me to use my reaction to take no damage if I'm successful on a roll to take half damage.
Oh, cool. So for whatever reason, you see it and you're able to cover yourself enough
with my shield,
you avoid it. Yeah. But the rest of you are all deafened. And let me see. We will go with that was its legendary action, and now it's its turn. It closes in on you, Varga, and it just snaps at you with its paw. Let's do it with its paw first. That's a 16 on the die. That is a 22. And I need you to make a DC 15 strength roll, please.
Oh, that'll hit. It'll probably kill me. Or put me down. That's a total of 19 on the strength throw.
Perfect. So it doesn't knock you down, but its paw slams into you, and you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, now I'm down.
You're unconscious?
Yeah. We don't have shit for hit points.
So you guys would hear the sickening crunch as this thing slams Varga down, just kind of tosses her down. And then you see its maw go down and bite into her. You hear a crunch of the shield as it shatters, and she tosses Varga aside as she continues to run towards the rest of you. It is now Gilath, your turn.
Gilath's ears are ringing with the resonance of the howl around this cavern, and she sees it pounce on Varga, and just the sheer force of the wolf driving her to the ground, and then Varga is still, and Gilath is like grasping in her pouch, and she comes up with a handful of ash, and she opens her hand and she blows it towards the wolf, and she says a prayer to Odin as she does. He needs to make a con save or be blinded. It's a pretty low DC. It's 14.
What is it? Oh, no, not when I rolled a 2. I rolled a 2.
Oh my god, I didn't think that was gonna work. Okay.
So you see
blind.
It just it just kind of it hits it square in the face, and not expecting it, and you see it just kind of it kind of stops. It stalls as it's running towards you. Is that something that it gets to save at the end of each of its turns?
No, it is blind for 1 minute.
Oh, yes. So it's disadvantage on all attacks.
And I believe we get advantage against it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if I should use one of its legendary resistances. Yeah, I'm going to use a legendary resistance because if it's for a minute. So you see it shake its head. She takes her head and it just kind of hunches its shoulders and its hackles come up and it looks right at you, Gilath, and it just starts growling. You still have a movement and a bonus action.
For her movement, she is going to start edging towards the exit.
Perfect. Very smart.
Isn't that where the wolf is, or did she come from another side?
No, she's like, I imagine she's going along the edge of the wall, the cavern wall.
Yeah, because it kind of pounced on you.
That's true, because I kind of saw the wolf as like, yeah, okay, we're out more out in the middle of the cavern than the way than I was picturing it.
All right, Brynja, it's you.
Brynja is fuming at the loss of Varga. It was the closest thing to kinship that she felt in a long time compared to her own father, who she spends most of her time with. And in a rage, she starts to shake and lose herself again. And you guys know what's coming. She starts panting and she screams as loud as she can, filling the cavern with this loud bear scream. But she's deaf and she can't hear herself. But she just feels so much rage. And she transforms into the werebear once again, shedding this human skin and watching the hair run off of her and growing and her teeth expanding once again. And she growls at the white wolf with the death glare in her eyes. And that takes a whole action to transform. So that's all I can do.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, I could try to intimidate, but
you could try, yeah.
And that is an 18.
Yeah. What you do, this is what I will say, is you draw the wolf's attention. Fenryth's attention now leaves Skilath. She turns her large wolf head towards you. And Sylvie, your turn.
Well, I think I'm going to use my bonus action at this point to to do my second win. The fall down the ledge is taking a little bit of a toll on me, and I kind of need to gain some back.
So that's a bonus action, right? So you still have your regular action and a move.
Yeah. Okay, and then so the wolf is right in the middle of the cavern at this point.
Probably closer to the back end with you guys after its attack and its move.
About how far away is it?
Pretty close, probably within 15 feet of you.
Okay, I will close on it and spear it with I kind of jab it with my spear.
Yep, of course you can. That's how you're going to kill it.
Try and do as much as I can. And I'm going to spend a superiority die to try to make it a precise shot.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's a 17 to hit.
Yep, it hits. You feel that you're just going across its pelt and you drive your spear in.
So 17 points of piercing damage. And then I think I'll blow my action surge to hit it again.
Perfect.
No, I rolled a 1.
Ooh. The snap of your spear shaft is not heard by any of you because you all failed your save, didn't you?
Good for me. I can hear my shaft breaking.
You hear the shaft of your spear snap as you drive it again at it, and it just kind of, oh no, you know what's even better? It grabs it in its snout and snaps the spear. But I'm sure you have another weapon. You're made of tough stuff. And so that ends your turn. And that brings us back to the top of the order, I believe, which is going to be a lair. Oh, wait, no. Before we do that, it's going to slam you with its paw as it does that. And that's a 16 on the die. So that is a 22. So that'll hit you. And 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a strength save from you.
$19.
Yeah, so it doesn't knock. It knocks you back, but it doesn't knock you prone. And I gave you the damage, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now it's the top of the order. It just growls again, and I need you know something? You're going to automatically save on this. So it growls, and actually no, I guess is that a? Sorry, I'm just trying to think it out loud, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to need you guys, to all make a DC Wisdom saving throw, please. You're gripped with fear, Sylvie, as it true size. You see it. All of you are gripped with fear. Well, I guess Skein didn't really need the fear effect. So you were all effectively frightened, and you can remake that save at the end of each of your turns. So you can't, if you move any closer to it, your attacks are at disadvantage. But you're going to want to move away from it. That's your natural inclination, is to move away from it. And now it is your turn. Varga, give me a death save. All right, so you move closer to the land of the Vanir and your mantle as a Valkyrie.
But I have my war axe in my hand.
But you do.
And it's bloody.
Actually, give me a save to see if it stayed in your hand after she tossed you.
Oh, you're so nice. You at least let me die with honor, the poor little thing.
You don't believe in gods.
You're acrobatics in my death.
We'll see.
Do I get to add anything to this stupid thing?
Yeah. Luck.
Okay, fine. I rolled a 5.
5, no. Your little war. What is it? A war what?
War sax.
War sax is thrown clear. The only thing that's still on you is your shield.
Now you said I failed one death save before this?
Yeah, so you're at 2 death saves.
What caused me to fail the first one?
When she crunched onto you and tossed you.
Oh.
She knocked you unconscious. No, she knocked you unconscious with her first one. No.
Oh, okay.
Rather than rolling anything, I just described how she grabbed you and threw you, and that was your failed death save.
Okay.
And that brings us up to Fenryth. Fenryth doesn't like getting stabbed by a sphere. So she is going to, first thing she's going to do is slam you like she did before. And that's going to be a miss. 12 will miss you. Okay. And then she tries to bite you. And that is going to be a 19.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so you're going to take 2d8. 8. 9. 14 points of piercing damage as she bites into you as you try to block her with your shield. Probably scrambling to get another weapon out. And you got to make a strength save for me, please.
12.
12. You are thrown prone as she kind of tosses you, much like she did with Varga. So you are prone now. Skalith, you are up. Skalith.
So I believe I was frightened.
You are frightened, so you're going to want to move away from this bad girl as quickly as you can.
Can I take any actions? Or is it just moving away?
Yeah. You won't move any closer to her. But there's nothing that stops you from taking an action.
So Skein looks towards the mouth of the cave and the sunshine there, and looks at the wolf. And she begins. She puts her palms together, facing each other, but the hands are making kind of an X shape. And she holds her hands out in front of her. Yeah, kind of like that. She holds her hands out in front of her, and she looks at the wolf, and she goes, "You want to seek the utter north. You desire to go there, to leave this place. Now, need a wisdom save."
15.
Damn.
Is that high enough?
Yeah, DC 14.
It's -1 wisdom too. That was a good spell. She takes a negative in the wisdom. So you see her shake off whatever effect you have, and you see it's because she kind of have this vision of killing Sylvie. Are you doing anything else? Are you moving away from?
Oh yeah,
her?
now I'm running.
Okay, you're at the mouth. You're at the mouth of the tunnel now, easily, and maybe even a few feet up it. And that will bring us to the next legendary action, which she again thunderously howls. Oh, but you guys are deaf except for you. So you need to make
Skein. What about Brynja and Sylvie before we get back to the wolf?
She's got a legendary action which she can do in between at the end of anybody else's turn.
I'm not used to these kind of bad guys.
So unfortunately, Varga, you will automatically fail this save and you will die. As this thing just racks your body and will give you another failed death save. But Sylvie.
I failed. I got a 4.
Okay, let's see the damage here. $23 thunder damage as this thing howls like just feet from you. And your eardrums immediately pop and blood starts to run.
Yeah, and not only that, but my eyes kind of roll back in my head and I collapse right there.
So you are now unconscious.
Yeah.
Perfect. How far under 0 did that put you?
You said 23?
Yeah.
12.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, you're just unconscious.
It would seem that Varga was fated to live a dishonorable life and die a dishonorable death.
And Sylvie, give me a death save. Oh wait, nope, sorry, I skipped you, Brynja. Go, bear.
Yeah, bear is gonna go. Bear is gonna bite. Admittedly, it's gonna be at disadvantage, but I'm gonna use my inspiration so I can get a regular attack at least. And that was a 12.
You say 12?
Yeah, 12 for my first claw attack.
Yeah, you run it across this wolf's hide, but you don't think it cuts in deep. You know, it's superficial.
Mm-hmm. And 14.
Yeah, and you bite at it too, and you bite onto its forearm, and you just can't get enough purchase. You can taste the wolf, and it tastes good, but you can't get enough to cramp right on it. Pulls its arm free. And Sylvie, give me a death save, please.
11.
11. That's one save. That's good. And I believe that'll put us at the top of the order, and that'll be a lair action. As again, it howls, and the remaining torch goes out, leaving utter darkness. And then that becomes Fenryth. Fenryth is just going to attack you. Brynja, you're the only real viable target that she has in front of her. And that is a 17, which I believe will hit you as a bear. Yeah. All right. And you got to make a strength save. $15 bludgeoning damage halved because you're raging. So that'd be, what is that, 7?
And my strength save is 19.
Yeah, you're a pretty good sized bear. She's not able to throw you down. She'll try slamming you now for a, that's going to hit. So she's going to hit you for an additional 8, 13 split, so 6 more bludgeoning damage. And again, you have to make another strength save as she tries to knock you down.
That is a 14.
Yeah. She catches you with her paw just right, and it kind of sends you kind of tilting, and you fall prone. And that brings us to you, Skeelith.
Skeelith is double moving away.
Yeah. So you kind of make your way, kind of feeling your way up this tunnel. You still hear the fighting. You hear the howls of the wolf and the growls of the bear. Okay, perfect. And Brynja. Oh, wait, no, you know what? It's going to use... it's going to slam you while you're down, which will she'll have an advantage. 21. So that's 13, so another 6 bludgeoning damage. And now it is your turn.
Does Sylvie have a death save or something?
Oh, shoot. Did I skip you, Sylvie?
I think I'm after Brynja.
No, she's after you. Then she'll make her death save.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go to attack again. Disadvantage. It's great. That is a 13. And a 9.
Yeah, so you do hit her, but not enough. But you have multi-attack, so you have another attack.
I rolled my attack twice.
Oh, okay. Those were both your attacks. Yeah. Okay. Now, are you going to move or anything? Or are you going to stay and fight?
I'm staying and fighting. I'm not going to get anywhere.
Perfect. And now, Sylvie, give me your death save, please.
7 in that one.
Oh, so you're 1 and 1. Okay. Yep. Perfect. That brings us to the top of the order, which let me grab it and throw it in there. All right, so now it's a lair action. It's not going to do anything on the lair action. It'll just go to its turn, and it's going to slam you and then bite you. It'll slam you for not much damage. 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but I do need that strength save.
19.
Perfect. Yeah, you managed to stay up even though you can't really see where it's coming from. And it growls and it lunges at you. Oh, no. I need a strength save. As you feel its jaws grab in just behind your shoulder blades, bite in hard.
Oh, not 20.
Oh, perfect. You just got really lucky. So you're going to take 10, 12, 6 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing bites down on you. You get a sense that it was trying to just pick you up off of the cavern floor. But it is now, I believe it's you, Skeeleth's turn.
That's gonna down me, by the way.
Oh, it does?
That last attack downs me.
Oh, okay. So then you're going to fail that save, and you just hear the crunching, and she's going to just crunch you, and you're going to take one failed death save. And actually, if you are running, Skeeleth, you can make another run for it.
I am getting up a tree. I am getting up a tree.
No. You don't get a pass on the ledge. You still have to run up the
no,
ledge.
motherfucker. You're kidding me.
The last thing that you hear, Skeeleth, is a crunching of bone and a rending of flesh.
The ledge?
The two of you guys, don't worry about the death saves because she is going to finish you off as Skeeleth is running. Yeah, so you got to give me those 2 rolls.
No, absolutely not. I failed.
Oh, okay. Now give me the save.
Only a 12 for my dex save.
Ooh.
Okay, question though. Does it look like it would be faster to just jump into the water and swim?
You got to remember, you're running with fear, so you probably would just jump in the water.
Absolutely jump in the water and swim.
Yeah.
Or wade or whatever. I don't care how cold I'm getting at the moment. Yeah. I am getting through the water and up a dang tree.
Perfect. And I think that is the closing scene will be Skeeleth kind of just scrambling up this this ledge up to where the river was to follow the path out, and then the wolf kind of coming out of the cave and a hollow, and then we'll cut right there. We'll leave it to you guys. We'll leave it to your imaginations about whether she outruns this wolf or not.
Oh no, she's gonna freeze in that tree.
I have prestidigitation. I can make fire.
Yes, she's gonna dry herself out. Smart. But anyways, guys, awesome adventure. I love the success rate for Fenrir. She will live to sire more wolves. But I have to say thank you guys so much for playing. You guys were awesome. I loved all your characters. Though Emily, score on how you played your berserker. I loved it.
I love it.
I don't know if we got Lloyd in here. Lloyd, are you okay with us having a werebear?
Oh, I just know he hates it.
He was like freaking out.
I think he said there's no such thing.
No, what he said was curse, no way, blessing is what he said in the chat.
Right, that's what I thought too.
So anyways, I want to give you guys a chance to say any kind of outros if you want, and then I'll just close it out and we'll end the stream.
Yeah. I would say.
Oh shit, I'm in trouble.
You're playing in his game tomorrow, aren't you?
Oh no, Lloyd is gonna kick my ass.
You're playing in his Iskloft game tomorrow. Good luck, Lionel.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Anyway, I would like to say, as far as Varga goes, like I said, she had a dishonorable life, and she died a dishonorable death. And there's no great soliloquies or anything. She's just one more dead person in Iskloft.
Yeah, it's not. There's nothing noble in her death. She does no, unfortunately. Anyways, let's go to you, Karen.
Oh, this is great. This is a lot of fun. It's my first foray into Iskloft, so quite the quite the awesome. Sylvie basically did what she wanted to do, which was to go save her husband or die trying, and she definitely died trying.
I will throw you this bone that as you fell dying, you probably fell near your husband Halvar, and maybe a weapon slipped out into your hand. No, it didn't. But anyways,
At least we died together.
Yes, there you go. You've been held together, Emily.
We'll all be there at this rate.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun to be a werebear paradigm in y'all DM's game. Broke it. And then I died, like I deserved. That wolf practically bit me in half. But yeah, I'll see my buddies in hell.
And last but definitely not least, Taylor.
Yeah, Lionel, thanks for running. Thanks for doing it. Kind of belated Ladies Week. Really glad to see that still hanging on. Hashtag Ladies Week forever, I suppose. It was a lot of fun. I'm convinced that Skein lives because warlocks only need a short rest to get their spells back, and I'm going to stay in that tree until that wolf fails my suggestion spell.
Yes, I love it.
What about the Constitution saves and freezing to death from dying of exposure?
She's gonna dry her clothes out with her cantrip.
Yeah, I got prestidigitation cantrip.
Yeah,
I can create a small fire.
Yeah, perfect. And if I remember correctly, it's almost like foreshadowing. Even though you're not Volva, is that what it is? Is that the other type?
Yeah, that's an archetype.
Yeah. But those are the ones that kind of like divine, right? So, but you knew that this was an ill-fated mission early on, I think, when you kept saying, let's go back.
That's because we were in Iskloft.
But anyways, guys, it was really fun. I feel really honored to have run the game with you guys. Actually, it was 50-50. I've played with Carol and Taylor quite a bit, and this is my first time playing with you, Karen and Emily, and it was awesome. I loved all your characters, and I loved your little backstories. And go Ladies Week.